Yeah, sure. So if we can, like the live, share it out. I want to open up some conversation space for this shit. This is one thing that pisses me off. Like, I don't care someone's age. If you're perpetuating rape and causing harm, you're still perpetuating rape and causing harm. It doesn't give you a pass. Thank you. Thank you, Dom. So it kind of felt like they were co-signing the shit that happened because they were a minor at the time. That's just not a good look. It just shouldn't happen. Let me bring this over here. And then they were silencing Irish. Yeah. Like, I understand, like, yes, get them resources, help them do better, try to avoid that in the future where they don't do that again. All right, I get that, and I'm all for that. But to sit there and be like, oh, well, they were raped themselves, like, what message are you trying to convey there? Because that still doesn't make it cool. Like, that doesn't give them an exemption or a pass. Guest requests are open, by the way. Anybody's welcome. I know a couple people wanted in on this. Where is it? There you go. So I don't know if anybody has not seen the shit show yesterday. I do have the clips up on my YouTube channel. Yeah, I do want to play the part and play the one with Irish because that's like a 20-minute long. Let me do a thing here. Oh, there is a Chrome one here. Perfect. And can I show it? Beautiful. Let's bring this in front. So again, words have power, and
both. So I spent a whole lot of time in court, and you're acting like you have to be an attorney to understand what is going on in a courtroom?
There's also spent time in court.
Really, dude? Really?
Dude, they spend a lot of...
I'm going to turn it up because it's a little bit low.
Childish. First off,
good standing.
Yeah.
When you are in,
I don't
when
like
you are a sheriff's deputy, you go through several different training modalities. Shut it.
Okay.
Are you capable of being quiet when women are speaking or not?
Iris, I'm going to ask you this question so unambiguously that it's going to be really easy to understand. Are you a licensed attorney?
It's a question about my private life.
Okay, so then you want to know what? I'm going to call into question the fact that you have any right to make a statement of law in this case. And
sure, so why don't you tell me, why don't you correct me?
I want to call into question this because you made representations that you're an attorney. So I am going to treat you as somebody that is at least savvy with the law based on your representations. There is, regardless of your status of a victim, as a victim.
I'll touch on that in a second, Dom. So there's a difference. Like if you're a Dom in a BDSM relationship, that's something between you and your partner. You shouldn't sit there when you're having these conversations where you're looking for feedback, you want the back and forth with someone that you have an issue with, you shouldn't sit there and act like a dom to them. It just doesn't fit. Also, like, asking, I get like B-Tron likes to throw the credentials around and I'm a lawyer, I'm this, here's my license. Not everybody needs to do that. We're on fucking TikTok. So, Irish is not in trouble. Irish was a good guy.
No competent attorney.
So there's this posturing
would
with B-Tron trying to go after Irish and credentials.
To be identified publicly.
Child DV victim.
Quinn Pratt.
Did that.
Yes, you did. You live streamed it.
Yeah, this is about Quinn
You live
Pratt.
streamed it.
I live streamed what?
Dude, wow.
Can you answer the question, or are you just going to deflect? What did I live stream?
Oh, here we go with someone you.
I like
dude.
B-Tron for some
You're the
stuff.
master of
What did I
deflection.
live
Okay,
stream?
you're the master of Darvo at this point.
What did I live stream?
Not the Darvo. Actually, I could just do this.
Great, do you want to?
There we go.
Are you talking about these redacted documents that don't reveal any names whatsoever? Are you talking about these documents that don't reveal any private information whatsoever?
Oh, and you're going to show it again on my page? Oh, hell no, dude.
They're
No.
Where's the
redacted.
names?
They don't
No,
have any.
you do not. Shut it.
Shut it.
You don't get to do that on my platform. You just stomped over a boundary and limitation that I placed on my motherfucking platform. You are unconscionable. I made it clear that I would never do such a
Like
thing,
what?
and you bring that to my platform.
Yeah, so the documents that Irish is showing have nothing with people's information on it. Thank you. They're not, it's nothing that you shouldn't, like, you should try to hide further. Irish very much redacted the information on there. So it was very smart of him, and he presented in a good way. Irish always presents stuff in a good way. Okay, thank you. It's just a reach to do that, and then the accusation of Darvo, when she wants Irish up to have the conversation, and I get trauma responses, right? I understand that, like, if you have a trauma response, valid, completely valid. We're not responsible for our trauma, but we are responsible in how we deal with it. Full stop. So you invite Irish up, you bring him up, you want to have this conversation, you mute him, you strawman what he's saying, and then you accuse him of Darvo when you wanted to have the conversation. She could have easily dropped Irish if she was uncomfortable or anything. We do it all the time. Yeah, if you have a, like, this is the thing with people like Zombie Love in them and people like her. If you experience trauma, you are ultimately responsible to make sure you are not in uncomfortable spaces. Hence, this live comes with a trigger warning. If this is going to be an issue, please step out as needed. I'm not responsible for that. You are responsible for that. Full stop. So, like, to put it on Irish? No. Thank you, Demented. Thank you all for loving the
Okay, so I'm just going to say right now,
Holy shit, dude.
Don't talk. How about
Iris
me
is
and
not
Bree?
an attorney because an attorney.
Bree and I talk, and not the host.
Yeah.
Bree, what would you like to ask me?
How about you shut it when people tell you to shut it? When the host tells you to shut it, shut it.
No.
I'm just going to say that Irish is not.
Bree,
an
go ahead
attorney.
and ask your questions.
Oh my
Bro,
God.
how about you stop acting like a fucking pretentious...
Maki, know your place and be a
fucking
bitch.
minute.
Shut up. Go
I
ahead.
am
Bree.
here. I am not a bitch.
Maki,
So, Irish tells Bree, if you want to have the conversation, let's have the conversation. And then she proceeds to sit there and tell him to shut up. Irish didn't want to engage with her. And then Maki's got to come to the fence, which I get it. It's your partner. You want to defend them. But your partner is up here saying the whole life that they can stand on their own. They can deal with it. let your partner deal with it.
Shut the
Go
fuck
ahead,
up.
Bree.
Hi, I'm muting you. Now you're my fucking bitch as you have
Clear.
the entire fucking life.
Your part pissed off. Drop.
Just to be perfectly queer, Bloody Mary, I was never outside of the good graces of Irish. I actually was messaging Irish this morning. So, good try. Good try.
Flat.
Maki, let's take the temperature down a little bit. Let's take the temperature down a little bit.
That's a smart thing for
Everyone,
Bree
can
to say.
everyone
Take
mute
the
for a
temperature
second,
down.
please? Everyone, mute. Irish, you are purposefully provoking.
Sexy, gorgeous, engaging, charming.
You're a troll, and you are purposefully provoking. And by the way, I wouldn't be surprised if people are recording this, which is great.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, it's
That's
recorded.
good.
My mom.
Irish is not provoking anything. Irish does a lot like what I do. That's the way Irish and I get along. Dawn, we're talking about what the hell's their name? So this is about Words Have Power, Maki, and Bree. When someone starts to act so belligerently stupid about a situation, they wanted to have the conversation with Irish, then muted them, and then they start shit. And then Irish wants to address just Bree and have that conversation, so because the host can't do that. They were going to move that down that line. So Irish did the same thing I do when... Oh, they're always here, Katie. That's fine. When people start to act stupid and I'm on a panel, you just start playing up the fucking games. Plain and simple. If Irish is triggering, it's your live. You could have kicked them.
So my question is, Irish, were those documents used in a way that such a reasonable person could know who the minor child was being referenced in those documents?
Excellent question, Bree. That is a level-headed question. What was
I'm
redacted
hysterical.
was...
Oh my God, you're about to be dropped. If you pull one more
Bree, would you
sexist
like to
thing
join
on
on
my
my
platform,
live?
you will be
Irish
dropped.
you and I
If
can have a
you
conversation.
cannot be civil, you will be dropped. If you cannot talk to me like I'm a human being, you will be dropped, and you won't be allowed on this platform at all. Period.
Oh.
So either take it down and be chill, or you're done. It's one or
Irish
the other.
was chill
Yes, ma'am.
talking to Bree.
So, Bree, that's an excellent question. I redacted the state. I redacted the county. I redacted all addresses. I redacted the petitioner's names. I redacted the children's names. The only identifiable information was of Quinn, meaning Quinn's name and his brother's name.
He was
no
a minor
ages.
child at the time.
Can I please finish?
He was a
We
minor
have to-
child
can I
at
please finish?
the time.
Yes, who molested a 7-year-old child.
But he was a minor child
Who
at
molested
the
a 7-year-old
time.
child. Who molested a 7-year-old.
So she keeps repeating this. He was a child at the time. This is the point of what we're getting at.
Child.
Okay,
Doesn't
so
matter.
Here's the thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you forgetting that? He a 7-year-old child. Defending a molester.
No, I'm not. You're
You are
not
actively
listening.
defending a molester.
You are
Disgusting.
actively not
Is the-
listening.
So he was 11 years old and raped a 7-year-old. Reminds me of a situation on here where we were talking about Agent 009. I'd have to go back. But same situation where they touched a child when they were younger and said they were raped themselves. It doesn't matter the age. You still did it. An 11-year-old should know better not to touch another child inappropriately. Full stop. Just because they were a child doesn't give them grace, doesn't give them a pass. Yes, Brandon. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was Brandon. Appreciate you.
Both of you are actively defending a molester. You're actively
No, I'm not.
Yes.
We are saying what you did was unconscionable because it was pertaining to a little case and ruling a minor.
I did.
And bringing up CPTSD because you're
Me what I did.
a
No, they're not the same person.
non-trauma-informed dumb fuck.
such a fucking
Wrong, you
shut up.
So, Irish,
Maki is like useless
Bree,
in
if
this
I can
whole
continue-
conversation.
Interrupting Bree. She's being
Information
very
was
cool. Stop
Let Bree and I
interrupting.
talk.
Stop interrupting Bree. She is being very
Go on this
calm. Stop. Bree, please.
No one likes you, host. Like, let me talk to Bree.
I don't give a fuck. Bree, please.
I can talk to Bree.
Irish, shut it.
Ma'am?
Bree, go ahead.
Irish is literally trying to tell the host to stop. We're having trouble engaging. Let me talk to Bree. And she just doesn't want to fucking let it go. Maki is utterly useless in this situation. I have no clue like why Maki was even up there. That was pointless. Maki's useless 110%.
So my thing is,
The host is.
I hear what you're saying, Irish, but if it is presented in a way that somebody could readily identify the information.
You said it wasn't.
Stop interrupting Bree. Stop.
It's representing what happened.
Well, I'm not getting a chance to because you're interrupting me.
Exactly. This is what happened to me with him.
Exactly.
Okay, child.
He's more informed than you.
If it was represented in a way that somebody could reasonably infer who was being talked about in regards to the minor child, even if the information was redacted, because the statements that are being made on the live stream are also adding context to the documents that you're presenting, then the issue is the disclosure of the minor's information. Now, here's the thing. I completely understand if the individual who is, I could completely understand if this is being used to address a situation with an abuser. However,
so I just want to touch on something Bree said. Bree was talking about the paperwork identifying who a victim is or the survivor is, and whether or not like we should even be showing it because of that situation. Okay, this is Quinn Pratt. Any legal stuff out there, court documents, unless it is sealed. Hi, Emily, I've been looking for you. Unless it's a sealed court document from when they were a minor and the judge said seal that shit, you can get your hands on that. Any of that stuff is available. So whatever is in those court documents, you can actually pull that up. Oh, Emily, no, I just wanted to watch your lives. I haven't seen you in a while, so you're good.
These
So,
records are in regards
Emily.
to a minor, and because of that, we treat those records differently. Even if this was in a situation that it was in a criminal proceeding, you wouldn't be able to just go and get this individual's minor's records and be able to use them in open court.
Yeah, you can.
So
You can get,
I'm not entirely
you can
sure
get
why
records
those
of minors
documents
if
were
they're
even
not
relevant.
sealed records.
And if they were under seal, how you would even get access to those documents unless you could provide some type of documentary evidence that you filed a motion to break seal with a court order.
This was wild, yeah.
I didn't kick him. So unless Words did, then he dropped of his own volition.
I didn't kick him either.
I'm gonna call it, and I'm gonna say Maki kicked Irish. I'm gonna say they did it. Okay. I'm pretty much saying they did it. Unless they show like a screenshot of who actually did it. I'm saying Maki did it. Maki called it at that moment. I didn't kick them. Hi, Irish. I'm going to say Maki kicked them. Okay. And then Maki played it off. Maki is fucking conniving and just a trash person. Hi, Katie.
Yeah, I would. Hey, Echo. I would say that too, because that whole thing is crazy as hell. And I do find it very convenient that she didn't know what's going on, but then Maki did, and then Maki never told us. And people were in the comments saying, show us the mod settings, because we wanted to know who did what to Irish. And
Oh my
Maki
god,
said,
I'm so angry. Sorry, go ahead.
Irish.
And Maki,
Just real quick for everyone, I did not tell Irish I was going live tonight.
Dude, I literally just spent the past 20 minutes preparing receipts to go live on. I didn't know you were going live at all. It's
my
so
fault.
infuriating, these morons. But go
wait,
ahead.
the both of you can blame the black person. The both of you can blame the black person. I shared it to Irish. I'll take the blame.
That's okay.
Wait, what?
No, I'm saying as a joke. I'm taking the blame. I shared it to you. I don't know if it came through my invite or something else, but...
Oh, I didn't hear what you said. Got it. No. Someone let me know that you were live, and I was about to go live on the lawyer who has been messaging me and threatening to sue me since last night, which is crazy. So I didn't know you were going live.
So, is that Bree that's doing that?
Yeah, Bree did what, listen, I have a whole thing I'm about to do on it after I drop from this live, which I don't know if I will be soon, but where I wanted to go through like gaslighting and manipulation. Bree slid into my DMs, messaged me, and then I started to reply to her, and then she started saying, I don't consent to communication. And I was like, bitch, you don't get to go on a live, talk shit, message me, and then claim harassment when I get to message back. That's not how it works. And then she ended with her last statement saying that she's going to sue me. And I was like, bitch, try it. I'm so stupid. Like, these arrogant, narcissistic asshats. And what it comes down to, it's as simple as this. Sorry, not sorry. They're fucking losers who are upset that nobody likes them or gives them credibility. Fucking losers who are thirsty for validation,
Iris,
and they're jealous.
Recording, I got a warning. So just
Alright, I apologize.
Just for educational purpose only, human decency on the TikTok shop. Maki can get it in bulk now. Irish left. Yeah, 10 out of 10 Irish, agree. No, so just to be clear, Bree is Beatron. Okay, everybody remember Beatron, that's Bree. Maki is WordsHavePower's partner. Oh, okay, you're good. Yep. So that's where it come from. So, oh yeah, I know Bree. So, yeah. Yeah. Like, Bree knows they can come talk and we can talk about this shit. But like, a rapist doesn't get the pass. Oh, speaking of which. Hi, Bree.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Hi, Bree.
So, I just wanted to clear air about some of our email exchanges because...
Don't worry, I got them all ready to show to everyone. Despite your threat that you're going to sue me if I do so.
Actually, Irish, I never threatened to sue you. And I'm happy to validate that. I just simply said electronic disclosures in my state are not subject. Well, you can do that, but you do realize you just violated the law, right?
Oh. I'll cope. I'll cope.
Electronic disclosure requires two-party consent in my state.
Great. Do I live in your state?
I live in the state.
That's great for you, Bree. Do I live in your state?
Actually
what?
Okay, are you aware that you...
Do I live in your state, Bree? Do you know how the law works? You claim to be a lawyer.
Actually,
I did confirm you are a lawyer.
Okay,
so why don't you tell me what is your charge? What is the criminal action you're going to take against me?
Hold on. Irish, are you a lawyer?
I don't disclose personal information about myself, Bree.
Okay.
Why,
you do
like,
realize...
Bree,
Hold on. You do realize... Wait, no. I get to ask this question. You do realize if you hold yourself out as a lawyer under...
I hold myself out as a fax repairman who works at a law firm.
If you hold yourself... Okay, then fine. Then what you're doing is a felony.
Great. What's the felony?
Unauthorized practice of law.
Okay, when have I practiced law? Do I have a client?
Actually, you...
Actually, do I have a client, Bree? Yes or no?
Yeah, actually, you're giving
legal
advice.
Who's my client? Who's my client, Bree?
You're giving legal advice.
Bree, who's my client?
The public.
The public, wow. Do I have a retainer? Because that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Actually,
if I had the entire public as my client, I'd be worth a fortune, Bree.
Hold on a second.
Fortune.
Okay, so Echo, I'm not going to be able to say anything if Irish is going to just go and sit here and cut me off.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead and educate us, Bree.
Yeah, I just want to set some ground rules here because y'all know how I do. The crowd knows how I do. We do have a back and forth. I don't play the muting game with people unless it gets like absurd. So we can have a back and forth. Y'all can have a dialogue if you want. Because I don't think you're going to go to Irish's live and have that conversation.
Oh, it's going to be completely unproductive.
I mean,
and Irish is just going to misstate facts and slander me, which is fine. I'm prepared for that.
I think, personally to me, I think it's weird that, like, I'm cool you coming on here saying, I'm a lawyer, this is what I do, I resent people. Bree, you do a lot of good for people and helping people on here. Not going to downplay that, okay? But to sit there and credential other people on this app, that to me is utterly stupid to do. We've seen that with other people. We just need to get away from that in general. So you're taking something that other people have done to disavow and discredit other people, but then you're trying to do the same thing because you have an issue with Irish. So I just think, like, that's something we should just stop doing on Debate Talk.
Okay, so here's the thing, and I want to be very...
Boss lady, I'll mod you up.
I want to be very explicit about what my purpose was for last night so that you can understand my point of contention. I went up on Words Live because there were relevant questions of law regarding court records for minor children and DV victims.
So just to be clear, then you went up there as her counsel to give her legal advice, Bree?
No, actually not. I
Weird.
went up there to offer education to the public, which is why I properly identified myself, the state that I'm barred in, and also made an unambiguous statement that this was not in relation to my firm. I am making these statements on my own volition, and nothing that I said was attributed to my firm.
Bree, let me understand, because what I believe you just said... Bree, I didn't say I'm attributing it to your firm. What I asked you was, you're giving a legal... What I just said right now is not... That is not what I just said, Bree. Do not lie.
Actually what
Nobody heard me say...
Do you want me to read the statement?
I'm not talking about what I read. I'm not talking about what I commented to you. I didn't say... Hang on. Bree,
no,
I didn't bring up your firm in the question I just asked you. The question I just asked you was, you were giving... Can you stop interrupting me, Bree, like a child?
Hold on.
No.
Bree, you just said that WordsHavePower had legal questions pertaining to legal issues, and you joined her live to give her advice. Can you please explain to me how you're not giving unauthorized... Can you please let me finish? Can you let me finish, Bree?
Bree.
No,
Bree and
actually,
Irish,
no, because you don't...
No, hold on. I am going to give you guys the opportunity to... Sorry, I use guys as gender neutral. I'm going to give y'all the opportunity to self-regulate your conversation. If that doesn't happen, I will say Irish go, then Bree go, then Irish go, and we will handle it with kids' gloves if I need to do that. I have no problem infantilizing the conversation there if that needs to happen, okay? I don't want to do that. I want to treat you both as adults and let y'all have that back and forth.
Great, then I'm asking Bree a very simple question. Bree, did you not just say that WordsHavePower had very specific legal questions about legal issues and that you joined her live in order to give advice? Did you not just say that?
So those questions were in regards to the live of the discussion being talked about, which, as an attorney, I am allowed to comment on.
I'll ask the question again. Did you say what I said you just said?
That's the answer I'm giving, and I'm not going to be responsive to any
It's
other
okay.
question.
We're recording the entire thing.
That's okay. It's been asked and answered.
Okay, great. Just curious, if you're allowed to give public comment as a lawyer, are you saying that when you give public comment as a lawyer, you do not retain the public as your client, Bree?
I am actually, that actually goes under very different...
Actually.
Okay, are you
Telltale
just
sign of a liar.
Hold on, Bree, go ahead. Respond.
So, those go under different professional obligations when lawyers make comments about the law in regards to the public. However, and this is the crux of the practice of law, it's applying facts to the law. Anytime somebody says, I have X, and you take X and you apply it to law B, that is the practice of law.
So you
You're
practice
speaking
law.
to something. Well, I'm an attorney.
So you practiced law last night on Power's live, correct?
I was commenting on the law.
Wait, hang on. Didn't you just apply law to the facts of the situation that she provided? Therefore, by your own definition, you practiced law on her live last night, correct?
Huh? Yeah, absolutely.
Great. So you agree that you practiced law on Words Have Power's live last night.
Why wouldn't it be?
Great. Who is your client?
I don't need a client.
How do you practice law without a client?
But you can practice law just by offering legal advice, including to the public.
So you did offer legal advice to Words Have Power last night?
Yeah, absolutely. But that's my discretion.
Boom. Okay. So right there, Bree has admitted that she offered legal advice to Words Has Power last night, which means the legal comments that she made yesterday were done in her authority as a lawyer. Correct, Bree?
So now let me actually. No, hold on, Irish, because
this is why only being a lawyer for 2 years means that you should learn to be a little bit more careful with your words, Bree.
Let me tell you something. We don't even know if you're actually a lawyer, so you could just
doesn't actually matter, Bree.
Internet looking stuff. Actually,
it doesn't actually matter.
I honestly don't care because we're on TikTok. Like, let's be for real. The posturing on this app is getting ridiculous. The point of authority that I'm a lawyer, I have more authority, and I don't think you're a lawyer. Like, that is just stupid to do on a social media app.
Okay, well, here, Irish, I'm going to ask you a question. What constitutes an attorney-client relationship?
The formation of attorney-client relationship is created either by retaining the person, meaning the client comes to you, ask for advice, and you engage, draft up an engagement letter, usually comprised of including some statement regarding a retainer, or you offering legal advice and acting in the capacity of a lawyer without prior set engagement, meaning you can become a person's lawyer and attorney without a formal agreement to do so. And what you just admitted to, that you are offering legal advice to her on her live, would constitute the creation of an attorney-client relationship under California law.
Okay, so let me
ask you. Do you disagree with that? Do you disagree with that, Bree?
Yes, I do, actually.
Okay, so explain to me how, and let's be real clear. You just said that you offered legal advice on legal issues pertaining to Words Have Power on her live last night. Explain to me how that does not constitute the creation of an attorney-client relationship.
That is not what I said. That is not what I said.
Okay.
I was very clear that I was offering public comment. Now, it was on Words Live, but I was not acting as Words Live because that comes to the second element that has to do with the attorney-client relationship. What is the essential element for the client in determining whether or not there is an attorney-client relationship?
Not answering your questions if you're going to be dishonest.
I'm not being dishonest. This is actually this is an on-point legal question. You should be able to answer this. It's real simple.
Sure. So what you're referring to is the fact that the expectation of legal services will be provided by a lawyer based upon the conduct of the lawyer towards the client. And so what you're saying is subjectively, the element from a subjective standpoint, Words Has Power had to have believed that there was the formation of an attorney-client privilege, attorney-client relationship in order for one to have been formed, which you would be accurate in stating. However, from a negligence standpoint, the Bar of California would absolutely agree that you going up there and offering legal advice unsolicited or solicited to someone who you've not engaged with in a retainer or an engagement letter is you potentially opening yourself up to become their lawyer, and that is reckless behavior on your part. You should never give legal advice to an individual without offering some sort of disclaimer, which you never did on that live because we have it entirely recorded, without giving some sort of disclaimer for the exact risk that I'm mentioning, that you risk becoming her lawyer by virtue of the fact that you're offering advice, even absent an engagement letter. Now tell me what is wrong and point to statute or ethics, code of ethics, that says what I just said is wrong.
So let me, okay.
Point to code of ethics or statute that shows what I just said is wrong.
So here's the thing. All right.
What's the thing?
And this goes into the code of ethics.
What's the thing?
If any of my engagement on Words Live does in fact constitute an attorney-client relationship based on Words' belief that has been formed, my obligation then would only be to Words, not
Correct.
anything to you. So what is your point?
Oh, the point is that you just practiced law last night, which means you fall under the the supervision of the California Bar Society. Last night, you did not simply. Please let me finish. No, please let me finish. Because by practicing law, whether or not there was the creation of an attorney-client privilege, by practicing law, the statements you made last night were done as a lawyer, which means they fall under the purview of the California State Bar Association, which means the conduct that you engaged in last night can be reviewed by them and potentially lead to a sanction if they so decide. Is anything I just said contrary to ethical standards set forth in the California Code of Ethics or by statute? Yes or no, Bree?
No, you're wrong.
I'm wrong. Okay, so what in the Code of Ethics or statute shows that I'm wrong?
Because the Code of Ethics require, in order for the State Bar to have an investigation, Words would have to file a complaint against me.
Wrong. That's not true.
Okay, then can you please give me the substantive case law that demonstrates that I'm wrong?
Yes, absolutely I can. California Bar of Examiners is allowed to sua sponte engage in an investigation of an attorney's client in providing legal practice to a client, absent the client being upset. I, as a person who's not privy to the attorney-client privilege or relationship, I cannot complain on my own behalf, but I am able to submit a complaint to the California Bar of Examiners, which they can examine and investigate to determine whether or not what you did was immoral or against the Code of Ethics. Whether it's against the Code of Ethics or not is irrelevant to whether your client is happy.
And that is a complete and wrong answer, and why people...
Did you just say the California Board... Hang on. Did you just say the California Board of Examiners cannot supervise and reprimand an attorney for the practice of law absent a client complaining? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, this is why we do not.
Is that what you just said?
This is why.
Is that what you just said?
This is why we do not allow non-lawyers to practice California law.
Stop doing an appeal to authority when your donkey's only been practicing 2 years.
Here's the thing. I want to be very clear.
I'll ask the question again. Are you saying that the California Bar of Examiners is not able to supervise, evaluate, or reprimand attorneys that are inside their auspice without and absent a client complaint?
Did on this live
was school your ass, Bree.
So, Bree, how is Irish wrong? How is Irish wrong? Because I don't want posturing, and I don't want to say this is why we do this.
This is not posturing.
I want to understand why it's wrong and give me like the legal stuff.
No, this is not posturing. This is not posturing. This actually comes down to really my professional obligation for integrity of the profession. Irish has engaged on this live specifically talking about a specific interest applying law to facts. That is against the law.
Isn't that what you did literally last night?
No, because I'm an attorney. You're not.
Okay, so you're saying that I engaged in the unauthorized practice of law?
Yes.
Great. Didn't you also just say a moment ago that there can't be a complaint made absent a victim, and the victim in this case would be the client? Who's my client?
No, because you just don't even understand how it works in California.
Bree, didn't you just say you can't make a complaint absent a client who's complaining? Who's my client, Bree?
Because you want to know what... Here's the thing.
Can you answer my question, Bree?
You don't understand.
I tell you this, you can tell you're not a trial attorney.
I genuinely want to know. I genuinely want to know, like, what's the answer to that question? I'm not a lawyer, so I'm learning here as we go. So please. Here's
the thing. What Irish is referring to is part of the canon of ethics, where the state bar can take sua sponte action for gross misrepresentations, and usually because Irish does not know are judicial opinions.
Oh, so I'm right.
You're not right, because this is usually reserved for retainer issues. Because we actually
So
have
what about
mandated
advertising? What about when a attorney engages in unauthorized advertising? Are you telling me that the Board of Examiners isn't able to hold you accountable for that, absent a complaint from a victim? Did you even read the Code of Ethics?
What I did, because
Can you answer my question? Don't deflect.
No,
answer my
you're
question.
wrong, because what I did was not advertising.
Hang on. You're telling me that the Board of Examiners is not able to reprimand a attorney for unauthorized advertising or promotion without absent a victim?
So, Irish, please define what advertising is.
Sure. For example, going on a live, which I'm not saying you did, going on a live saying that I'm the best attorney in California,
exactly what you're saying that I did.
I'm an attorney who managed to get a $2 million settlement for these types of cases. That would be considered unauthorized or unethical promotion of yourself as someone who's able to guarantee those results.
Which I
Are
did
you
not
telling
say.
me that I didn't say you did.
No,
I didn't say you did, Bree, you gaslighter. What I said was, that's an example of when the Board of Examiners is allowed to evaluate and reprimand an attorney absent a complaint from a victim.
No.
I'm owning
just
you.
Gonna let Irish
I'm owning you, Bree. You look like a moron. You're up here representing a firm. And when you say representing a firm, when you are attached to a firm, you are always representing them. Okay? You're not acting in the capacity as an individual who is retained by the firm.
When I'm doing pro bono work, all right? So you're saying when I'm doing pro bono work that my firm is attached to my representation?
Just like any company, if you're an employee of a company, your actions will fall back on that firm. It doesn't mean that you're acting in an official capacity of the firm. Do you understand that difference, Bree? I'm not saying that you're acting in an official capacity on behalf of your firm. What I'm stating is the actions you take as a lawyer when attached to a firm reflect on the firm. And a firm does not want someone engaging in the unauthorized practice of law and or recklessly practicing law on TikTok like you admitted you did last night.
Oh, okay. So you're...
Oh, okay.
So, I find this very interesting.
Do you? Because I'm bored.
I find this very interesting that you're sitting here with a whole bunch of hoopla and you don't even know what you're talking about.
What don't I know about?
What
have I said that's inaccurate?
Irish doesn't.
Just about everything.
What? Be specific. What have I made that's a claim about the law during this live that is
you don't
incorrect?
Have any credibility here.
Answer the question, Bree.
Again,
no, because you don't have any credibility.
That's an attack on character, not of the argument.
That's right, because he has no character. I'm calling it into question. I don't think that Irish is.
Yeah, but this isn't court, Bree. This is.
I'm not saying I'm a lawyer. I'm saying I'm a fact repairman. I'm a fact repairman at a law firm. I'm not a lawyer.
You're not?
I'm a fact repairman at a law firm.
Okay, that's all I need.
Now, let's go through each of the claims that I made and ask you to validate each one.
You're not a lawyer,
the first claim was, you can run.
If you're not a lawyer.
You can run. As soon as you run, I'm also going to be showing all your communications with me.
No, if you're not a lawyer, I'm not going to talk to you about.
You just said everything I just said was wrong. Let's start with step one.
No,
do you need a complaint from a client in order for the California Board of Examiners to reprimand an attorney? Yes or no? Echo, do you recall Bree saying that you need to have a complaint from a client in order for the California Board of Examiners to reprimand an attorney? Do you remember Bree took that position?
I'm not going to debate the law with a non-lawyer.
We're recording on YouTube right now, so this is all recorded.
Oop.
So what?
I mean, I would be pretty embarrassed if I were you.
Am I supposed to sit here?
Be embarrassed? No, because you're a narcissist, so you don't know shame.
It's not a point of embarrassment. So I'm tired of these fucking lives where people sit there and say, "Oh, well, I didn't say that." Well, guess what? It's recorded. It's out there. We can play it back. So if there is something you said, we can always go back to it. People can watch it. So. Again, Beatron, I love what you do and the pro bono work you do and the work you help people out with that need it. Fully love you and support you for that. This point of authority that you're taking on a fucking social media app is wild.
So let me address this on point, Echo. Okay, I honestly don't really give two squats about Irish or their point of view or what they think about me and my legal opinion, it really doesn't matter to me, because at the end of the day, all right, Irish is not opposing counsel. It's not like
it's not a courtroom, you donkey. It's TikTok.
It's social media.
Well, no, I know, and that's the point that I'm exactly making. Now, really, all of this came down because Irish did not like what I had to say about the handling.
It was ignorant and incorrect. You said categorically that any court documents pertaining to children are sealed and are not permitted to be shared publicly. You said that categorically. You then made a comment to me in my comments where you tried to change that statement and said it's not categorical. It's just assuming these facts. And so I went up there in order to correct your ignorant statement that all documents pertaining to children are not sealed. They're not protected, that you are ignorant on that point of law because you are an attorney, you're just not a good one. That's why I wouldn't be going around if I were you bragging about your bar number, because if I was your firm, I would be embarrassed to have an asshat of attorney like you attached to the firm.
For educational purposes only, human decency is available on the TikTok shop. I will give a discount coupon to Maki to get half off.
So question to you is, do you agree that information pertaining to children in court documents is not always sealed, Bree? Correct, yes or no?
So, Echo, I'm going to...
Bree, you can deflect. Okay, go ahead, because you can't handle an actual conflict. As an attorney, you can't handle conflict. That's crazy.
There we go. Spine and a backbone is available on TikTok shop for Maki.
So, without getting into all the legal minutia about court records when it comes to children in criminal matters, SA matters, and DV victims specifically.
Oh, was it a criminal matter?
These
was it a criminal matter?
It can also be civil too.
Okay, so in pertaining to civil matters, go ahead.
These class of records are actually handled very differently.
How are they handled?
There's additional scopes of protection for.
What are the scopes of protection?
Yeah. So, Bree, is it?
No. Hang on. If I can continue, what is the scope of protection, Bree? Let's see if you're an actual attorney. What is the scope of protection that courts afford documents that pertain to children?
All right, so here's the... You know what? Actually, I'm going to give this question to you.
Can't answer the question, Bree.
No. What is the provision of the Violence Against Women Act regarding the disclosure?
We're talking about a child who is being assaulted, not a DV victim.
Oh, now we have an appeal to a motion.
We're appeal to facts, you fucking moron. An appeal to facts, you moron. We're talking about a child, not a DV victim, moron.
Irish Live. Bree, you didn't ask a question or answer the question. You were asked a question and then you diverted to asking Irish a question.
Well, this is because every time I get a sentence in, I have Irish literally going and speaking over me, which Irish does to femme presenting people.
I literally want to know the answer to that question Irish asked, and I have a follow-up question myself that I want clarification on.
So first of all, for court records and personal information, those are protected again by the Violence Against Women Act. This is a federal law. In order for you to get a hold of those records, in order for you to disclose those records, all right, in order to meet the requirements for you to be able to use them, and it doesn't even matter if it's in redacted form.
We're talking about children, Bree. Can you get back on point? We're not talking about DV victims.
That you have nothing.
We're talking about. Can you focus on the facts of what we're talking about, Bree? We're talking about court documents pertaining to minors, right? Why don't you talk about minors?
And that's exactly what I'm talking about.
No, you're not. You're talking about DV victims. What is the relevance of DV victims when we're talking about cases involving minors, you donkey? This is embarrassing.
So the issue that came up was this was a situation about a minor that this fucking guy did when he was a child, okay? So
I'm aware of that.
It's a minor.
Yeah. How's that not
does the Violence Against Women Act apply to minors?
Yes.
In this case, does it apply?
Yes.
Why?
Because of the nature of a relationship, the harm was done, and under the statute, it would be classified as domestic violence extending protection.
Yeah, sorry.
Great. So let's just wait. Sorry. Let me interrupt. Let me show Bree how she's a fucking moron. What qualifies you to fall as
Hold
a
on.
domestic violence
Irish, I gotta
victim,
make an
Bree?
apology. I apologize for the ableist comment I made. No excuse for it. I'm sorry.
What ableist comment did you make? Okay, you don't have to say it again. I don't support yeah, I get you. Bree, what qualifies you to constitute? Great, so let me educate everyone. In order to qualify as a domestic violent victim, you have to have a sufficient relationship with. You have to have a sufficient relationship with the perp, and that relationship usually is that you are either a direct or close family member, and or you live in that person's house. That is ordinarily what qualifies you as a domestic violence victim, which is why this has no relevance to what is. Can you shut up, you moron, while I school you? Which has no relevance to this case because the victim in this case had no connection to the perp. Therefore, domestic violence had nothing to do with it, you moron.
Is that it?
Yeah, correct me. Correct me how I'm wrong.
Is that it?
Yeah, correct me how I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're totally wrong on the statute.
Oh, please educate me.
No, I don't educate non-lawyers.
You don't educate anybody because you're a moron.
Whatever.
Explain to me how it's domestic violence when the perp is not related to or lives in the same house or has any familial connection to the victim. Explain that to me, Bree, you moron.
So, like I said...
Can you answer the question?
Anyway, these records are protected.
Can you answer the question, Bree, instead of deflecting like a moron? I'm treating you like a joke because you are a fucking joke.
In order to get access to those records, you would need written consent from the victim.
Wrong. Like, this is why it, like, listen, let me be super clear. Nobody contact Bree's firm. Like, nobody do that. That is messed up. I don't endorse that. That's stupid. That's unnecessary. That's, like, it's just not necessary, right? Okay, I will say it is pathetic, Bree. It is pathetic that you're up here identifying yourself as an attorney, and you are, by doing so, identifying the firm that you're attached to. When you're up here saying things about the law that is objectively false.
No, it's not objectively false.
So I'll ask the question again. How is a victim who has no familial relationship or does not share a house or a residency in any way with the perp, how are they a victim?
Your story keeps
How are they a victim of domestic violence, Bree?
Because
answer my question, Bree.
No, I'm not going to answer your question.
Okay, so here's the reason why. Just because you have the certificates doesn't make you educated. Because Bree's a moron right now.
Yeah.
So explain to me this, Bree. If I walk into a bar and I find a stranger and I punch him in the face, is he a DV victim?
Yeah. Whatever.
Is he a DV? Okay, Echo. If I go up to someone in a bar who's a stranger, I punch him in the face. Do you think that person's a DV victim?
No, it's not domestic.
Oh, weird. What makes it domestic, Echo?
Being at home.
Oh, crazy, right?
In a place of home.
Echo, are you practicing? Are you engaging in the unauthorized practice of law, or are you just talking common fucking sense?
I mean, I don't believe in common sense, but yeah, I'd chop it up to common sense.
So, Bree, correct me how I'm wrong, because this is why I'm saying don't come online, tell people your bar number, and then engage in the negligent practice of law. That's what you engage in. Anything I talk about the law is accurate. Because I've spent years reading documents from fax machines. Years.
Can we get Shamrocks in chat?
Interesting. You know, Irish, I just wanted to read back on the message that you sent to me.
Hey, I'll show all of them.
Did you not?
I'll share all of them. Hang on, I'll share all of them. Let's do it.
No, I don't consent to that.
I don't care. You can. Oh, by the way, your tokenization of sexual assault victims by using the word consent in conversations with me was gross.
I don't
to
care
suggest that someone responding to your comments was violating your consent was gross.
Did I tell you that? Did I make it explicitly
Let's start.
clear?
Page 1 of 10.
Okay, so go ahead. You're going to do what you're going to do, Irish. So guess what? I'm just going to sit back. I'm not going to comment. You do.
That's what you should have done yesterday, Bree. Was sitting your fucking ass because you don't know anything.
No, here's the thing. I'm going to sit back and let you make an ass out of yourself, and I'm just going to collect.
Oh yeah. Hang on. I've never, ever said that I'm not immature. I am an immature little fucking man-child. I've never ran from that in my life. However, I'm accurate and I'm truthful, which is something that people need on this fucking app. That's why, even though people hate me sometimes, they don't dispute what comes out of my fucking mouth, unlike idiots like you and Words Have Power, who are narcissistic, asshole losers who are just upset that nobody wants to hear what you have to say. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say, not simply because you're not engaging and you're both fucking boring as fuck, but because you're uneducated, condescending, pretentious asshats who don't know anything about what you speak about, Bree. That's the difference. Even though I'm an asshole, I'm right. Nobody can dispute I am always fucking right.
Oh,
This
really?
live is just for educational purposes only. Human decency is available on the TikTok shop. Go pick it up. While you're at it, you can also gift Maki a spine from the TikTok shop.
Oh, did the child leave?
No, he rotated out to protect the live. This is how we keep going without having issues.
So, I find this very interesting because, you know, honestly, like from my assessment, somebody like Words and Irish for what they do should be in a
Would be a power couple, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
I highlighted that part of your messages to me because I wanted to laugh at that.
Why is that funny?
Because she's not a good advocate. I want everyone to know right now. Okay, hang on. Let me just get this.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Hang on. I want everyone to know that Words has power. This person right here went live last night and defended. Yes, she did. She defended and advocated and counseled Quinn Pratt. Quinn Pratt, who court
That's
records
interesting
reflect,
because that's
shut
not
up,
my
shut up,
recommendation.
moron.
No, that's
Hold
not
on,
Who advocated for Quinn
Actually,
Pratt,
I remember,
who has been accused in multiple court documents of child molestation of a 7-year-old girl
Irish
multiple
language.
times.
I remember multiple
Apologies.
times that,
Great.
And
I
also
remember
of
multiple times
GRAPE
saying-
as an adult,
I remember
and also as
multiple
DV as an
times
adult.
that-
And Bree and Words
Bree,
Have
hold
Power
on.
advocated, counseled, and empathized with
No,
Quinn
because
Pratt last
it's
night.
Bree,
And
hold
you
on.
two claim to be
Misrepresentation.
you two claim to be SA
It is an
victim
affirmative
advocates. It's gross.
Bree.
misrepresentation.
Bree, it is
Because
not.
Words-
It's recorded. It's on my YouTube.
No,
Y'all
Bree,
sat there
no.
and tried to
It
give
is
a pass
affirmative
because he was
misrepresentation.
11.
Words directly stated they do not support Quinn.
Correct,
They
correct.
stated
And all
that
your arguments
multiple
supported Quinn.
times.
And all your arguments supported
They
Quinn.
stated that multiple
And all of your
times.
arguments supported Quinn.
Multiple
And all your
times.
arguments supported
Multiple
Quinn.
times.
Hey, watch
Sorry,
this. Hang on,
Irish.
Bree, watch
I'm
this.
sorry,
Hang on,
you
hang
were
on.
just
Hang on,
caught
hang on. Bree, let me show you
fucking
what. Hang on.
lying.
Could
Dom,
you
you're
mute this
good.
moron for just 1 moment?
No.
Let me explain
No,
this right now,
because
Bree.
you're-
Hold
What you're
on.
doing right now
We're
is
gonna-
this.
Hold on, Bree.
No,
What you're doing right now is the
you're
equivalent
attacking
of this.
DV advocate,
This
and
is
you're a
you. The
liar.
equivalent of what you're doing right now, Bree,
You
is
are a
saying,
liar.
I do not
Bree,
engage
we all
in body
fuck
shaming
up on occasion.
while also saying that someone looks fat. Just because you say you're not
are
doing something, if you're
lying.
doing it, you're doing it.
Bree, this did happen. I was sitting there in the live myself. Iris is right, and it's recorded.
And then you
This
would have
did
heard
happen.
that you would
Bree.
have heard Words say that they do not
Bree.
support Quinn.
We're not-
Multiple
Stop.
times.
We're not
Stop.
disputing.
This is recorded.
Stop, Bree. You have to recognize what was said was different in two different sentences.
No,
Everyone
it
up
was
there
not.
was saying
That is just-
we're not
that is
defending
just-
Quinn.
That is just slander,
Bree.
and that
No.
is BS.
Bree, everyone up there sat there saying we're not defending Quinn, but then turned around and was trying to give him grace because he was 11.
Did Words not state their position was nuanced and focused on the disclosure of court records? Yes or no?
It should have been about that, okay? It should have been
And-
about
and-
just
and
about
they
that.
made-
But y'all were
and they
saying
made it about that
Words
until
sat there
Irish bombed
and
the lie.
said, Words sat there. I have it recorded from before Irish joined.
It's
as well.
5 minutes. It's 5 minutes in, Echo.
Yeah. Words sat there and said, but what about Quinn? He's a victim himself.
And
That
here's the
doesn't
thing. Here's
give an
Wait a
exception.
second. Did not Word say two things can be true at the same time?
Yes,
He can
they
be
can, but it doesn't excuse it. It doesn't excuse it. You don't give someone grace
Words
because
did
of their
not
age.
excuse it.
Yes, they were. It was
No,
invalidating.
Please elaborate.
It was
How did they excuse it?
invalidating to people that have been raped as a child to sit there and say, well, Quinn was an abuser, but he was 11 when he did it, or he was only a child, or he was a victim himself. That literally is perpetuating rape culture and the negative language. Do you not recognize that?
No, I disagree, because Words was making a very explicit statement that two things can be true at the same time. And in the context of what Words stated, they were trying to highlight that people that are abusers come from an abusive past. They were very clear and explicit about this. And this is a true fact. It is not putting empathy on the abuser, it's adding context. Now, here's the thing. We might not like that fact. We may have a problem with that fact. But what Words was trying to do was to highlight some of the nuance in the situation and to make the statement that Words was backing Quinn was categorically untrue. And the fact that you have somebody here just willy-nilly...
Echo might have just gotten receipts in their Discord. Oops.
Yeah, I'm sure they're manufactured.
Oh, really? Echo, you may want to play that 1-minute video of Words speaking. That's clearly manufactured.
The 1-minute clip taken out of context that you're going to sit here and go on a tirade?
Hold on.
Context is given to you.
It's a minute. Let's play it.
No, I object to it because I want to see.
It's not
I don't care.
No, I object to it because it's going to be taken out of context so that...
Overruled.
How did he know that him doing that wouldn't maybe trigger... what is his name? Quinn? To have a PTSD event or who knows what. What I'm saying is there's no care or consideration given to possible harm that could happen. But you're all going to co-sign him and be like, yeah, it's fine. Well, someday, if somebody decides they don't like you, I guess they can do the same thing to you that Irish is doing right now to Quinn. You might want to consider it. If you have any past trauma, do you want everyone in the world knowing about your past trauma?
Let me make this abundantly clear. Let me make this abundantly. Hang on. Let me make this abundantly clear before Echo says something, because this is very important. Okay.
No,
what happened was this.
That doesn't prove a single thing.
Hold on, Bree.
What I want to make clear. What I want to make.
Take it out of context.
What context?
Stop. The context is available. It is clipped from the video on my YouTube. Anybody wants further context, go watch it. This bullshit about it being taken out of context is just that. It is bullshit.
It was.
No.
It was.
Go
no,
watch
it was
it.
not.
No, it's
so
not.
go watch the whole video, Bree.
It's not taken out of context, Bree.
The point I want to make here, listen, here's the point I want to make very quickly, because there is some confusion about this. And if someone can drop Bree or keep her mouth shut so I don't get interrupted on this, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Here's exactly what happened. I had multiple people who purported to know Quinn in real life come to me. They told me rumors and they told me stuff that I would never have acted on because of the fact that it was not substantiated. They told me that there was stuff in his past and he had many victims, but people are too scared to talk about him, that there's no way that people are able to challenge him because he's got a large platform. Can you shut the fuck up? Shut up. Hang on.
Hold on. Bree, shut up.
Bree, I can't mute you, so I'm going to manually tell you to shut the fuck up on his behalf, because I can't mute you. I'm going to manually tell you, shut the
Bree,
fuck up on
let
his
me
behalf.
give the full context.
What does this have to do with what Words have to say?
Shut the fuck up. Stop talking.
Bree, maybe you'll get educated. Bree, if you shut up, you'll get educated. You'll get educated.
Let Irish finish. Bree, take a step back, get a drink, get a snack, listen to Irish. No, Bree, listen to Irish before you start going off. Just listen to Irish.
No, this is absolute
Just listen. Step out of your comfort zone. Stop being defensive and just listen.
Bree, I'm going to tell you what happened, and you tell me what's wrong about it. You tell me what is factually inaccurate about what I'm stating and or wrong about it, and I'm going to give you a full opportunity to respond.
You're going into...
Okay, Bree, you talk first, and then I'll respond. Go. I'll mute myself, Bree. You get it all out, and then I'll respond. Go ahead, Bree.
Let me ask you this question. What does this...
No. Get this statement out. Don't ask the fucking questions. Like, you want to keep talking about how Irish is talking to women rude? I'm going to talk to you rude. Shut the fuck up. No, shut the fuck up. Don't ask questions. Just speak.
I'm
just
sorry.
Speak. Don't ask questions. Just speak. It does work that way. It actually does work that way because you don't like getting interrupted, do you? You don't like getting interrupted, do you? And so getting interrupted while you're trying to make a point really fucking sucks, doesn't it? It's really annoying, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you going to stop asking stupid fucking questions, or are you going to talk?
You know, why don't you piss off?
Bree, wait. Ask me your question. I'll answer, and then you need to stop and let me respond. Go ahead and ask your question.
How does this go? And
well, let's unmute her. Let Bree say her question so she doesn't have an excuse to interrupt.
Yeah, mods, let's hold the muting for if we need to put on the kids' gloves and moderate them. I just don't want to do that. I want to make sure, unlike last night, both parties can talk and back and forth. So Bree, please go ahead.
So at this point, I'm just going to excuse myself. This is not.
Oh, you were given an opportunity to talk, and now you're excusing yourself. Any excuse?
I'll just tell you what. At this point, I've seen enough ridiculous crap. I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
You're a joke, Bree. Nobody should trust anything out of your mouth. You're a horrible
That is fine. That is fine. Irish, you're a gaslighter. You're an abuser. And
please cry harder.
Yeah, I'm just going to
say... How am I an abuser, Bree?
I'm just going to say my piece.
How am I an abuser, you donkey?
So goodbye.
Get fucked. Go on, get out of here. Nobody wants you. Nobody likes you, fucking loser.
I want to say this to Bree. Okay, Bree. I love the advice that you help when people are in shitty situations. I love that you do that. But stop going on fucking panels, posturing as a lawyer and as a point of authority on these lives, and trying to be the one that dictates everything from a legal perspective. Just stop that shit. It's social media. If you want to give legal counsel to someone pro bono, go ahead. Stop doing it on live panels.
Well, as an Uber driver with a 4.85, no, I'm just kidding.
If I can make the following statement, Quinn, I know you're in here right now. Yep. I recommend you follow me on this account, Quinn, and I recommend you talk to me before this gets out of hand. I'll say that again, Quinn. I highly recommend you talk to me, because I can be civil and I can be reasonable, but I can tell you that you know what I know, Quinn. You know what I know. And I'm recommending that you stop trying to gaslight. I recommend that you stop trying to escalate, and I sure as fuck recommend you stop trying to twist stuff. I can be civil, Quinn, but I can be real uncivil.
And just to
be that's
clear,
your choice which one you want.
Quinn has been watching this whole live. So,
Quinn, you can find me everywhere. People try to dox me all the time. People try to cancel me all the time. People try to spread false information about me all the time. People try to take me off me all the time. The thing that differs between you and I've got nothing to lose, my guy. Nothing to lose. All I care about is what is right. You can fix this so simply. I have a super easy, simple option. Apologize to Kendra. Take full accountability for lying on her name, because that apology you put out there was not sufficient. Apologize to Kendra. Apologize to all victims of SA for the harm that you did collectively to them by attacking someone who is a victim of SA. You do that, and you and I have no problems, my guy. You and I have no problems. You go around telling people I'm a liar. You go around telling people that I'm somehow gaslighting. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to end well. That's not a physical threat. That's a credibility threat. Now, let's talk about what actually happened. Here's what happened. I had multiple people who purported to know Quinn in real life from when he was younger, who purported that he had multiple victims, who purported that he was a dangerous person. I didn't report that because who the fuck knows who those people were? They could be totally weirdos. I know what haters are. Quinn may have had haters. So it could have been that. However, I looked. They told me the states where they were from. They came from 2 different states. I exhaustively went through the legal records and press releases and any sort of media from those states to find anything on Quinn Pratt. What ended up then happening was, in one state, which I'm asking people not to name, in that one state, I came across a civil court record. And that civil court record was public. The underlying documents, you have to simply contact the court in order to get the documents. Those documents are also public. Now that's unique, and that's what Bree should have asked. How were you able to get access to, why were those public documents? She's absolutely correct that that is unique and not common. The reason was because the person in those court documents, the father of that 7-year-old, went to the cops, or at least that's what the court documents reflect. All I can tell you is what the court documents reflect. That person went to the cops, reported Quinn and his 14-year-old brother. Quinn says he was 11, and I believe the court records reflect that the brother was 14. And they went to the cops to get help to prevent that 7-year-old girl from being repeatedly molested. Pardon me for the TikTok word.
Thank you.
TikTok shop, blah, blah, blah. And that father went to the cops, filed a report, and the cops did nothing. Ordinarily, what would happen is, or not ordinarily, sadly not ordinarily, but the cops are better when it comes to sexual violence. Not great, but they're a little better. So what we would hope would happen is the cops would refer to a prosecuting attorney, they would initiate a charge, and there would be a criminal order of protection issued for the children. And because that would be all handled by the prosecutor, those would all be sealed documents that would never see the light of day. In this case, the cops ended up not doing anything, leaving the poor father with absolutely nothing to do. The father was forced to file a civil order of protection. And in that civil order protection outlined all of the things. It didn't even outline all of them. In fact, they submitted a confidential document that was sealed, that went into the gory details. That was sealed. I'm not talking about that. I'm not referring to anything that's in that. I'm not referring to anything that was sealed. But there were other documents that were public. And in those public documents, the father very clearly said the 7-year-old had been repeatedly molested by Quinn at 11 and the 14-year-old older brother. That Quinn and the brother, at least one instance of that act, was leading her, taking her into the woods and making her show her blank, fill in the blank. And that happened multiple times. Now, when I read that, I was aghast. I was shocked. I was disgusted, right? And when I looked into it, I was like, oh my God, I hope this victim is okay. I can't believe this happened. And I wanted to continue to validate what had gone on. And in so doing, I found out that that victim has passed away. And at that point, I was left with an ethical question. These were public documents. These are things that anyone can have access to, but not necessarily people should have access to. And I thought it was in the best interest of the victim, and the victim I cared about was that 7-year-old daughter, to contact the family. I spoke to the family. I alerted them to the fact that these documents were public and that was something they need to be apprised of, because if they want, they can take action about that. I also advised them what was happening with Quinn. I advised them that these documents could help to show a pattern of behavior, because the documents reflected that he had done something to that 7-year-old girl multiple times, and then when she spoke out, the documents also reflected he bullied her. He bullied her after it came out. And that was consistent with what it is we had seen in the other court documents that were filed 6 years ago that showed that Quinn had raped someone and that Quinn had tried to intimidate that person into silence as well. And I asked the family, are you okay with me sharing this? Because this is sensitive material. to which they said, "Get the bastard." They endorsed it. Now, when I shared it at that time, I had no idea about any claim of SA or physical assault or sexual assault that Quinn had undergone. None. Absolutely none. What's interesting to me, and note this timeline, is when I came out with all this information, Quinn went live and he said it was all a lie. What he said was that never happened. He said that there was protective orders and charges brought against him as a child, but he said that those were all fabricated and they were only done because people wanted to somehow keep their children away from his stepfather. That's what Quinn said, that those restraining orders and the charges brought against the children, meaning Quinn and his brother, were brought against them as a means of keeping away the stepfather, which is ridiculous. Because what he's basically saying is that these people had their children file fake charges against other children to keep this grown man away. If they're going to fake charges, they would have been fake charges about the stepfather. It was incoherent. It made no sense. That night when he came up with that excuse, I did research at that point, and I found out that this stepfather was never in the state during that period of time because the stepfather was in a separate state. And when I announced that on that live, the very next day, Quinn goes live and he announces to everyone that he had had something happen to him as a child and that he is traumatized due to the fact that people are now talking about the 7-year-old girl he allegedly molested multiple times. And somehow this, to me, transparent, narcissistic, gaslighting asshat has made his moronic fans believe that the person who allegedly molested the 7-year-old is somehow the victim in all of this. Nobody has ever talked on Quinn's issues. Nobody has. Didn't even know about them until he put out that video. And so when people are talking about there was 2 victims here, I don't give a fuck about your backstory.
No.
If you're using it as an excuse to explain away why it is a 7-year-old was molested. Period, full fucking stop. Now, Quinn, you know I have other things. And I am showing discretion by not sharing those other things. I implore you to think reasonably. This is not a battle you're going to win, my guy. It's not. Think from a place of what if this is your money egg, right? This is your goose egg, right? If you want to protect your platform on TikTok, stand down. Get your ego out of this. This isn't one you're going to win, my guy. It's not.
And to be clear, I hold no remorse for P3DO's rapist at all. It's the lowest form of low. So, no, you don't get a pass. Like, yes, you are a survivor yourself, but it doesn't make it okay for you to perpetuate that harm. Full
if
stop.
Quinn went on a live with me and Echo and said that he was a victim and wanted our empathy, I would offer it. What he did instead was he used and tokenized the fact that he was a victim to excuse him hurting a 7-year-old child. We don't let perps do that. That's the act of a narcissist who does that. Because WordsHavePower is right. 2 things can be true at the same time. You can't have empathy for someone as a victim and as a perp. I don't have empathy for you as a victim when you're negating the fact that you're a perp.
Yep.
And I'm going to say this with my full chest because WordsHavePower. I understand you have lawyers. If they're as good as Bree, I think I'm okay, Cupcake. I think I'm okay. However, let me say this abundantly clear. You are harmful to SA victims, WordsHavePower. You are harmful. And you are harmful in the following ways based upon my opinion. A, you centered yourself in a situation involving victims. B, you prioritized the perp over the victims. C, you spoke on issues pertaining to victims without being informed. And D, the grossest thing of all, you used the victimization of a 7-year-old child to make money. Because while you accused me of using this platform for money, and you challenged me to go live and show all my accounts to show how much money I had taken and then prove that I donated it all, last night I went live and I went into my 3 main accounts and I showed that I have not withdrawn a single cent from this app. Not 1 cent have I ever taken from this. It wasn't screenshots. I opened the accounts live. You do the same. Because when I went through your profile, it's weird how you use your platform advocating for victims to sell fucking candles. The fact that you do like commission sales on your videos and that you are monetized and you make money on your videos and you admit you get money off of TikTok, but you have the audacity to say that I do this for money? Bitch, I do this because I care. You do this for commission off fucking candles. Know your place.
Fucking Shamrocks in chat, please.
I'm tired of these narcissistic assholes getting rewarded for gaslighting and manipulating and this performative I know best bullshit. Oh, and by the way, let's talk about the fact that WordsHavePower is a former fucking popo, okay? She tried to use her credentials as a former popo to explain that she knows the law. Sit the fuck down.
And then she sat there and said ACAB, but it's like, yo, you are the C. You are the C.
I just want to know how we're taking our moral cues, or some people are, from a cop. You know, like that. When I found out that this chick was a cop, I was like, oh, come on now. Like y'all can't take her seriously. Do you really?
And let's not forget too that the partner also said ACAB, but it's like, yo, you're with a cop.
Thank you, Angel. Yeah, they're obsessed with going after people, and it's just like they need a mirror, like really bad.
It's goofy.
They really need some mirrors in their house.
Well, it makes sense, right? The cops and cop lovers, of course, they're going to want to try to police other spaces too. Of course they are. That's what they do.
Look, I don't have a problem with that as long as they have the full-on details as far as where they're going and who they're going after. It should never be personal. It should never be personal.
No.
With Words, it was personal.
Right.
Words was butthurt because of what happened on another live with Irish, and then just stuck with that and decided, oh, this might be my chance.
Yep. Clout chasing asshat.
Words is a self-righteous, pompous ass.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be clear, this is for educational purposes only. A spine is available on TikTok Shop, half off just for Maki. Human decency is available for Words.
They need a
It's for petty reasons too.
Point.
Yeah.
That shit needs to be made of fucking vibranium at this point. Such a puss.
It's irritating that they sat there and defended Quinn because, like, they're saying, yeah, we don't defend Quinn, we're not standing with him, but then they sat there and tried to give him grace because he is a victim himself.
And did you look? Can you show those two comments that they made?
Yeah. So
Echo, say my spot. I have to go fix my mod powers.
no, mod powers are a little wonky on this, so good luck.
Like, here's Quinn saying, I want to say thank you. You put your disdain aside for me. That's what he's saying. You put your disdain for me aside, and you saw what they just did. I do appreciate that, and I have been to therapy for my anger issues. Yes, court mandated, but I took a lot from it. Oh, that's weird, because you got assault and SA charges dating no more than 5 years ago. To which WordsHavePower says, You keep going. She says that to the man accused of molesting a 7-year-old and accused of DVing and raping his partner a few years ago. You keep going. As a survivor of child abuse myself, I can attest that therapy does help more than I can explain. Then says Irish needs to face his own consequences for speaking on behalf of the victim. For speaking on behalf of the victim, I have to face consequences.
Yeah.
And then goes on to say, don't forget your self-care, Quinn. Don't forget, let's put this in. Don't forget Quinn, the alleged rapist and child molester. Don't forget Quinn, self-care, and please don't let the anger affect your family. Break the cycle. The fuck are you on, victim's advocate, my ass?
No. Like, you don't sit there and call out the shitty behavior and advocate for these survivors and then stand with them and be all buddy with them and comments like that. No.
And the reason is because if you're being buddy and empathetic with the purported rapist, how are victims going to feel safe in your space when you're talking nicely to the purported rapist? That's wild. It's similar to a conversation that I've had with some friends on this app, that when you straddle the middle, you scare away the good people. Because the good people don't want to fucking break bread with the bad people.
No.
So you are an advocate. You are. But it ain't for the victim.
Well, I also wanted to point out what kind of was very telling yesterday was when she was cornered, when she was speaking to another survivor, and that survivor was calling her out, and she needed time to breathe. She weaponized her mental health.
Yep.
She weaponized her mental health because she needed some time to try to think up some other excuse.
I'd like to also point out, and I noticed it when she did it, but just for those people who don't know or haven't seen the video or whatever, throughout this video and throughout just the interaction in general, she never, ever said what Quinn did when she was trying to make it.
Never.
And so she danced around the whole thing. She would say stuff like, "Oh, it's not right to use his trauma," and it's like the trauma we're talking about is what he did to that 7-year-old when he was 11 and his brother was 14. That's what we're talking about. And Words knew that. He consciously danced around the issue the entire time. So for anyone who may think, oh, maybe she didn't know, or blah, 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 no, she knew. And if she didn't know, she should have asked, hey, Irish, what did he do? But she didn't. She knew, and she kept capping for him.
100%.
That's the person that she is. Her husband, her partner also knew, and kept capping.
I will never let them ever forget that yesterday, they stood and they protected a accused rapist and molester while claiming to be a safe space for victims.
Right.
Yeah. Just crazy, absolutely insane behavior. Can't.
Also, there's an account in chat, Avery Von Pink Chaos Fairy. Awesome account.
Yeah, Avery was
please
in
go
here.
Follow that.
Not the real Avery.
Yeah, please go follow that. Not the real Avery.
Oh, is that the person who's got the? Okay, is that the? Where is it? I don't see it.
That's the one we like.
So if you see an account in here that says Avery on it, go follow that, because Avery was in here and may still be in here right now, and she's trying to evade responsibility for what they did. Avery, I'll say this, Avery. I don't know why people pick fights with me. It seems like you've got like a sexual kink for humiliation or something. You want my focus? I want to ask that question, Avery. You want my focus? I did 2, 3, maybe 4 lives on you, Avery, and I fucking wrecked you. In 3 or 4 lives, I wrecked you. And for 8 months, you've tried to hurt me. You haven't done shit, bro. Not one thing have you done, Avery. Not one have you done. You can keep trying to come after me. And she has. Oh, she has. She has repeatedly tried to come after me, and I've not cared. No. But Avery, I'm in a fucking foul mood these days, Avery. So if you want to keep pushing and you want to see what it is I'm able to do with a 5th live and a 6th live, you, Avery, were following more than 100 minors. When I called you out on it, you privated your account and you deleted from your 1,000 people that you were following. The 1,000 people you were following, you deleted 200 followers. Oh, prove it. Go to that receipts one. Yeah. Go to the receipts one and you'll see that there's plenty of evidence that she was not only simply following over 100 minors, but was engaging in their content and engaging in their age regression content.
The Avery Receipts account, can you hop up in a box and just mute up? You don't have to say anything, but hop
just invite them up.
Yeah. Just so you can sit up here for a minute and people can know the account. You don't gotta say anything, don't gotta age or nothing. You're good.
Absolutely it's crazy that Avery has the audacity to keep thinking that she can like try to scare or intimidate me. Ooh. Avery, they're not all adults. There was literally a victim who spoke out against you. You lied about her. Then you said she was blackmailed? Are you gross? Are you gross? And then you said she was a liar. You're a disgusting person. And you absolutely, when you say that you have DID, I have never once said you don't have DID. I have never once said that you're not a military vet. In fact, that's where all this stems from Words Has Power. Words Has Power tried to get me to tell lies about Avery. And that's why I have credibility, because I rejected their lives. They tried to tell me that Avery was false valor. Not for 1 second did I believe Avery was false valor. So I've never propagated that. No. That's why Words Has Power has issues with me. Because I wouldn't propagate. She couldn't use me to spread lies about you, Avery.
Avery is here.
Because I do have integrity on what it is I do. And so I didn't share those lies, and she got upset. Jonathan is Avery.
Yeah, Jonathan in chat is Avery.
So I want, just a reminder to everyone in here, because we have 200 people. Avery was following 100 minors. Many of those minors engaged in age regression, including some of the people that she was following engaged in age regression as a schmexual thing. She also was following minors who engaged in furry play. And at the same time, she was on FetLife, advertising for playmates and trying to negotiate a meetup with a woman who likes to change the spoiled diapers of adult grown-ups playing toddlers. And at the same time, she was also going to kink events on a monthly basis in her local city until they kicked her out because of her age regression kink. And then she went on Facebook in order to get angry with them for drawing a boundary at not wanting people walking around in a fucking diaper.
Yeah. So, everybody knows, I talk to people that are DID and have little alters.
No issue.
No issue there. That is not a problem, right? I also will not engage with them when they are a little alter. They are a minor at that point and cannot consent. That is a do not engage. Plain simple, full stop. It's not what Avery was doing.
And I also want to be super clear. There's lots of people who have a strong line when it comes to age play and age regression. I don't even shame people for that stuff. If you have 2 adults engaging in consensual behavior, I'm not going to shame you for that. I understand why people do. I fully understand why people do. I don't. My only issue with you, Avery, was that you were following minors. You were following minors, and you were engaging in their content. And then we found that you had been talking to one of those minors, and after a year or 2 of knowing them, you then wanted to meet up for intimate cuddling. And
10%. That is some Brett Little QB shit.
And Avery, if you want to say you didn't know that she was that age, okay, say that. But don't call me a liar. I'm not lying about what happened. You can say that you didn't know, and I'll validate that. If you didn't know, you didn't know. And I'm sorry you didn't know. But don't claim it's a lie. It happened. I'm not trying to demonize you over nonsense. I'm genuinely not.
No.
What's up, little derp? You were going to ask a question or something?
I have the same files that you do because I found them myself.
Wait, stop right there.
I'm not mentioning
Nobody, no, stop right there. Nobody should go looking for these case files. Nobody should do that. In my opinion, the father was explicit. Don't turn it into a circus where people are now trying to get access to those documents because I redacted them thoroughly. I think, and I condemn anybody who is trying to find those documents. It's not right, in my opinion. But go ahead. But like, be careful what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So, the daughter's name.
Wait, whoa, just drop this person. Drop this person. No, drop this person. Drop this person.
I got it.
Little derp, I'm gonna message you here. You can message me on Discord. But like, what the fuck? Like, what the flying fuck?
Yeah.
So right there, you can message me on Discord. Right there, you can message me on Discord, okay? But like, and maybe you were being nice, and maybe you just like misspoke or something. Maybe like you didn't mean to like, but like that was just too dangerous. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, we're not going to risk that. No. I don't know you to say I want you up here to talk about that.
And Avery, if you want to reach out to me and you want to clarify anything, I'm not bad faith. You can reach out to me, Avery, and we could talk about whatever it is you think I did that was wrong, and I'll happily correct any misinformation. I don't need a got you, Avery.
Yeah. And Avery, you have this weird thing that like you think I'm trying to come for you and you always talk about that. I'm not. I literally never talk about you. I do find it kind of hilarious that you associate and hang out with Jessica Wabbit and Verified, who are incredibly bad. You know, that's something I'd be like, no. But I don't really speak on you. You're more than welcome to talk to me anytime. Unblock me and have a conversation, I guess. Y'all playing with Mary down there.
Hey, Irish. Oh, never mind.
He's teacupped.
Yeah, I was just, she was messaging me on Discord. What's up?
Oh, no, I'm just going to say, do you have any food? You got any water? You doing okay?
I appreciate it. I don't do well with people caring about me, but I appreciate it. Don't worry about me. I'm fine.
Okay. Just making
Appreciate
sure.
it, though.
Welcome.
Kilo, no, I don't do that. I don't turn off comments. I don't go sub only. I don't do like comment like goals. I don't do that shit. I don't do this shit for the fucking clout or the engagement. This is just, I was irritated with what they said around trying to give grace to a P3D or a grapist because they were a minor. No, I don't stand for that. You get no grace when you do that shit. So I would never give anybody a pass. That's my big contention here with this. Like, no. And then you're trying to have a conversation with someone and talk about them. Then Irish comes up and you want to constantly mute him instead of having the conversation with him.
Oh my god, I watched that. It was absolutely horrendous. And I've watched the lives that Irish holds, and he gives people that he's calling out or, you know, talking about the chance to come up and actually talk.
Yeah.
As opposed to other people.
Yeah. Zombie Love, real quick. Zombie Love, I know you're probably here. I see someone mention you in chat saying you're here. I will tell you, you are responsible for how you deal with your own trauma. Again, you are responsible for how you deal with your own trauma. Okay, you are not responsible for your trauma. So if this live is triggering to you, scroll. There's the door. Protect your peace. I am not responsible to protect your peace, and I will have these conversations I see fit. Plain and simple.
And let me look. Zombie Love is someone who has been stalking and harassing me
gaslighting
for about 6 or 8 months now. Zombie Loves, I have not engaged with Zombie Loves because Zombie Loves is a narcissist. And, you know, what is it? Greywalling is what pisses them off. And in the process of me not acknowledging the incredible harassment and stalking and really scary behavior that Zombie Loves has engaged in the process, they have posted about 100 videos on me. Some of them have clearly been reported because her playlist on me is now about 55 videos. That's her playlist, but there's about 100 videos that she's actually done on me. And throughout all those videos, and I invite all of you to go look at those videos, she has made lots of false allegations, including that I mocked her gang grape, which is the only allegation I actually care about because it goes counter to what it is I've ever done on this app. Now, Zombie Loves is in the comments right now because she's like a shark. Just like all these other losers who I've ever said anything about, and even Zombie Loves, I didn't even say anything bad about her at first. Her only issue was that I was calling out Avery for what she did, for what Avery did. I was calling out Avery for what she did, and Zombie Loves, just like Quinn, stepped in to protect their buddy. And in the process, Zombie Loves made it about themselves and decided to play victim. And I don't mean play victim in the sense she's not an SA victim. I don't know any of the details of that. I assume she is an SA victim because I believe SA victims. But in the process, she tried to pretend to be a victim of me. And it's gross. And it's loser behavior. And for the past 6 months, you tried to get my attention. And the truth is, I don't give a fuck about you because you're a fucking loser. What is it you people don't understand? You're fucking losers. I don't care about you losers.
Zombie, I also do want to point out, and I do want to make mention one more time, I could repost this video on my main about how you threatened my 16-year-old daughter.
Damn.
So we can also play that game because I do have those receipts as well, because that is a fact.
That's gross. Do we know who Eleanor is?
I'm not. So I only want to bring up people that are relevant to the people on the background. So that's why I'm not bringing up random people or people from the typical friend group that may not have like negative interactions with these people. Y'all two are up here because I know Maki and that bullshit. It's kind of weird that Zombie, you can come up and speak, Zombie, but you're not going to put the live in danger or I will drop you. But it's kind of weird that...
I'm promise to not be mean. Just say now.
You literally set a boundary that you don't like me, you don't want to engage with me, you don't want me talking about you.
So get fucked and go away.
Yeah, you came in here. So...
like,
why
honestly,
are you even here?
I don't
Someone
know
dropped
if you
on,
want to
trust
come
me.
up. I'll say, I don't know if you want to come. No, I'm not gonna put the live in danger, but I don't know if you want to come up because your mental health finna be in danger if you fucking come up here. I've had words for your ass for a while, so I don't think you want to do that.
Yeah.
I think you want to be kind to yourself tonight, and I think you want to head to bed right now. This is your one and only warning from me.
And that is not a warning of violence. No. That is not a warning of violence at all. That is a warning. See, Zombie Love says right there.
Oh, believe me,
I'm in danger.
If I want to incite violence, I'll say violence. And,
all right,
and
drop Dom. Someone drop Dom because she can't. I know Dom, but Dom, you understand that this moron is going to clip anything they can in order to use it against you. So let me be abundantly clear. Dom is not referring to physical violence. What Dom is referring to is if you come up here, she's going to make you look like a fucking idiot, Zombie Loves, because you're a fucking idiot. Now, if you'd like to join and show you're a fucking idiot, feel free. Feel free, Zombie Loves. I would love to have a conversation with you. I would love for you to expose me and tell everyone about how it is I have done these things to you.
So I want to point out that you said I was gaslighting because I told you protect your own peace. You're responsible for how you deal with your trauma. That is not gaslighting. That is setting the clear expectation that in this space, we are talking about SA. This is not a good place for you because your history, that onus on protecting it is not on us, it's on you. You came in here on your own accord. You can leave on your own accord. You can more than come up and have a conversation. You've never been in my live before. You can do that and have that conversation.
Before the white man interrupted me, Irish, what I was gonna say is that's just weird that you would assume a black woman was inciting violence automatically, since we're recording things.
Zombie, you went in there, okay? If you go in a space that is going to be an issue because your trauma in your past, it's up to you to walk out of there. Stop sitting there watching. That is you putting the onus on other people for your trauma response. Get fucked.
Zombie, you set boundaries on your platform. You cannot you cannot set boundaries on others' platforms.
Wait, was I even there when she says Irish demanded I continue? Was I even in that live?
Right. And
I don't know.
To be fair, Zombie,
I don't think I was in that live.
Zombie, you, Jessica, Verified, y'all can try to clip this live as much as you want to say, oh, here's a gotcha moment on what they said to me and perpetuated the harm. This is streamed to YouTube. Again, get effed.
And the other thing is, you're a fucking loser. Nobody cares about you. So, like, keep making your videos. Like, that's the thing. When you say, oh, I document everything you do, so, like, you, and that's why you don't like me. I don't like you because you're a fucking loser. You're just a fucking loser. You mean nothing to me. That's it.
I don't like
you're
you because
a liar as
you
well.
Put your trauma response on other people. That's not their responsibility. That's why I don't like you. And you're friends with Jessica Wabbit and Avery. And Jessica Wabbit's a whole ass YT supremacist. Nice company you keep.
Yeah, it's fucking goofy. Oh, for everyone who, by the way, you know, let's clear up some of Zombie Love's lies because they're adorable. Zombie Love's claims that she was intentionally triggered and harmed because she was exposed to images that were pertaining to an essay that happened to her earlier, right? What she's referring to is the fact that Zombie Loves wanted receipts on Avery. I asked her multiple times, can I DM you? She said no. Can I message you on Discord? She said no. I said, can you join my live and I'll talk to you about it? She said no. I said, can I do a live and I'll show the receipts and you can say in the comments? She said no. I did a video, and when I did the video, she then said that was harassment. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And so I gave up trying to give her receipts. However, other people, whenever she'd bring up, I couldn't even get the receipts. I need to get the receipts. First of all, it's not about you, Zombie Loves, you narcissistic asshole. You are centering yourself in someone else's issues again. You then demanded to get receipts, and every time people would see your demand, they would be like, okay, we'll do lives with you right now. We'll do lives with you right now. And then finally you decided to go to one of those lives. And during one of those lives, a video was played about Avery. The video was played about Avery. An image was shown during that live, and that image specifically showed someone who was participating at an event that Avery goes to. And Avery commented on that photo. And I was using that as evidence to show that Avery engages in age play activity voluntarily. And somehow you turned that, even though there were trigger warnings offered before we played any videos, even though there was trigger warnings offered during the video, you turned that into us creating a video that included an image because somehow we were meant to know about what happened with your essay and that we had done it to intentionally... What the fuck are you smoking? The fuck are you smoking, Zombie Loves? The world doesn't revolve around you because you're a fucking weirdo. Go away. Can't stand losers.
This is Zombie Love saying that Jessica Wabbit is not a racist.
That's crazy because Jessica Wabbit was racist to me. So are you telling me that I'm wrong? Are you validating me and the fact that somebody was racist to me because she sure enough was? on a live.
Zombie Love, you were brought up because Echo decided to make sure that they were very specific about you minding your own trauma, you minding your own triggers. When Echo saw that you joined, Echo was very specific, and that's how you came up.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's wild to me that you're still here when you know this live can be triggering to you, and you're still here.
Nobody's surrounding anything. We weren't even talking about you. Literally, I don't know if you can't comprehend what was just said to you. It was said you were only being told what the live was about so you could protect yourself and leave. Otherwise, we weren't talking about you. You are not that important.
Well, you
Shout
know,
out to Marky.
Zombie is just doing the same thing that Words did, which is trying
100%.
to make things or making things about themselves as opposed to the actual situation at hand.
100%.
If
It's pure cloud chasing.
If you were healed, you wouldn't be in here, like, basically harming yourself by being in here. Like, clearly you're not fucking healed, because if you were, a healed person says, okay, fuck this, I'm out. Oh, somebody says they don't like me, I'm gonna bounce. A healed person knows when they're not fucking wanted, and they bounce because they're protecting their peace. But because you want the attention, you're in here because you're not healed. So, again, fuck off. Expeditiously. Like I said, put yourself into bed, please. It's bedtime.
Because I can recognize that there's a possibility the reason why you're doing this, Zombie Loves, is because of past trauma, right? But this is, again, similar to Quinn. You don't get to use your past trauma as an excuse to traumatize and hurt other individuals. Take personal accountability. Take personal accountability. And Zombie Loves, let's be so fucking for real. You make content where you are trying to play victim of other people like myself because you want attention. It's not because you think you're doing what's right. It's not because you think you're being moralistic. You just want attention, and it's fucking goofy. Get a friend, get a dog, get a cat, get a plant.
Please don't take care of anything else. Don't put anything into your care, por favor, please.
Get a
Echo,
Daegu.
Can I mute this bitch?
Get a
Tamagotchi.
Oh, I don't care.
Yeah, because like
I just don't do
'cause unless
blocking
you are-
people, but yeah, you can.
Yeah,
more
no,
than,
but
feel
unless
free to
you
mute.
do, like plan. Yeah, because you're talking about you want to talk. Can I speak? Can I speak? And you're not coming up here speaking. You're staying in the comments because first of all, you're too pussy to come up and actually defend yourself because it's easier to remain a victim down there. And second of all, you have nothing of worth to say. So I mean, honestly, I'm just gonna mute your ass and help you. Consider this a hand helping.
I want Zombie Love.
Congratulations, Zombie Love. That was some choice centering and derailing. I mean, it's like Olympic level.
I want Zombie Love to explain how Jessica Wabbit is not racist and how Zombie Love can stand next to Jessica Wabbit comfortably.
Lori, if she's still in danger, that's because she hasn't figured out how to put her finger on the screen and scroll up.
Mm-hmm. Anywhoozle, reminder to Maki out there, Backbones are now 80% off on the TikTok shop. Feel free to get one, Maki.
Can I ask everyone in here, has Zombie Loves helped a single one of you?
No.
Has Zombie Loves provided who? Has Zombie Loves been of utility to anyone?
Yes. So actually, I've doubled down on making sure that I go to therapy on time.
Oh,
Other than being a warning sign of how your mental trauma or issues can be weaponized to hurt other people, has Zombie Loves, other than setting an example for that, helped anyone? No. Or has anyone ever watched one of her videos and thought that was fun? No. You're a useless content creator. Like, get a life. Same question for Words of Power. Has Words of Power helped anyone?
Oh, let
No.
me just mute.
So,
serious question: has Words of Power ever helped anyone?
That's kind of why I have these people up on the panel, because everyone here has had interaction with Words of Power except me directly. Y'all are free to talk about these people as much as you want and share what has happened.
What's this about?
Yeah, she said that.
Words of Power.
Because I
Oh,
said that she was. She said that because I said that she was YT passing and didn't experience racism, and shouldn't be using her tokenizing her ancestors to defend herself against her alleged indigenous ancestors to defend herself against anti-blackness and racism, and they did the same thing to me. It was on Mackey's Live. They blocked me. Wait, they muted me, wouldn't allow me to speak, then dropped me, and then blocked me from the live. And then after they blocked me from the live, as people defended me, Mackey turned off comments. Then she went and she did a 10-minute fucking video about me, claiming that I was, what is it called? Invalidating the experiences of indigenous people. No, bitch, I'm telling you that you're a YT passing woman, that you're a YT chick, and you don't get to tell black people that you're indigenous when they tell you that you're being racist and anti-black.
So I can't stand these white presenting indigenous people who use the fact that they're indigenous as a weapon or invalidation tactic for POC. And I'm allowed to talk on it as an Irish traveler. And I don't understand why, when you're a white indigenous person, you think that qualifies to talk about POC issues, black or POC issues. And now I can understand why Words Has Power is teaming up with Zombie Loves, because Avery is also one of those people. If you all remember, Avery said she's not she's not white. Do you remember that? Avery insists, I'm not white. I'm Romani.
That was an adventure.
You can be white and indigenous. They are not contradictory terms. I am white and indigenous. Crazy people.
Yeah, Irish is literally my white guy translator for a reason.
They don't realize that there's a such thing as 5 race categories. But I would like to speak on how Words Have Power has enlightened me and has been abused. Yes, Lord. So I got into a car accident not too long ago, and my spine was very messed up. But she helped me realize that I actually have one still, and it's pretty strong compared to hers. Mm-hmm. And Auntie, wasn't Maki the one with the yeah, I can walk, it's like I went to church. Wasn't Maki the one with the whiteboard, or was that the other one? Which one had the
that
was Smalls.
Smalls.
I get all of them mixed up. All I know is that they're the anti-black call-out crew, and they weaponize their indigeneity to be racist and anti-black, and that is really problematic. And I didn't know that this person was a retired police officer. Did she get thrown out?
She said she worked just as, what was it, justice or bailiff at a court or jail or something?
No, she said she was the sheriff's deputy.
She was a sheriff. Yeah, she was a sheriff.
No, how she go through the training for that? That's what I want to know. Let me go look. If she was a deputy, I'm a Navy SEAL. Okay, I'm a Marine.
The way she centers herself and self-victimizes, I don't know how she finished the police academy. Like, that's she must have cried her way through training.
Honestly, that feels like a prerequisite at this point for the police force.
Is YT tears?
And then she turned around and said she was ACAB after being
her and her partner both said that they're ACAB, and people in the comments were like, "Yo, you don't have to." Oh, she was like, "Oh yeah, I'll end up being ACAB," and people in the comments were like, "You don't have to be a cop to be ACAB. Like, it doesn't take anything to be ACAB."
That's wild. That's a wild take. Yeah. That's what these people are. They do anything to try to get minorities on their side. Yeah, police brutality. I support you people. I mean black people. I mean POC. That's what they give.
I do want to point out
They say
too,
colored, I'm telling you now.
if it was anybody else, if it was anybody else outside that little group or anybody else that they didn't, like, for lack of a better term, this would be all over that snark page that they sit there and run up their mouths on.
Oh,
But
it's
it
their
wasn't.
page.
Exactly. It shows how inconsistent they are. They're not going to hold. They want to talk about accountability and stuff, but they don't hold themselves accountable. They don't check each other. They just check people that they don't like, or people that they have some tiny ass issue with, and they won't hear people out. And yet at the same time too, and I was going to mention this. I was going to mention this initially, but I got reminded. Smalls sat up there in the comments. You can see in the video if you scroll through it. They sit there and say, I just want to know all sides. I want to know what's going on. They said this to Boss Lady. And yet to other people, Smalls does not give that kind of grace.
Sorry, who's Smalls?
Enjoy Ernesto. Small titty goth.
Mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I speak on this in general?
Oh, most definitely, Astrid. Also, hi, by the way.
I'm gonna grab a drink. Y'all play nice. I'll be right back.
Oh, Irish, you're gonna get a kick out of this. So when Smalls gets upset, they pull out a big whiteboard that they got from the clearance aisle in Office Depot, and they get the cheapest expo marker from the dollar store and start marking down all the Darquavius acts, also known as Darvo acts that you've committed. So watch out.
I'm not going to lie. That kind of sounds entertaining.
Oh,
I might have to look at that.
It's big too. It's an oversized whiteboard. They sit in their bed, sitting there talking about, on this day, December 7th, 1973, did you go to the gas station?
Wait a minute, wait.
Yes or no?
Did you or did you not?
Yes or no?
And if you don't know, I'm going to mark it down as a yes.
Well, they're on the... Sorry, go ahead, Astrid.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything. But I just wanted to let everyone know, right? So, as somebody who was closely intertwined with that group, they decided to call out an indigenous femme presenting person, and then refer to that person's friends as flying monkeys and fleas. Me being a black woman, a black African woman, I was like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Words Have Power decided to make a response on their page, talking about how, because it is recognized in the entire victims advocate community, that if they use any other words, it will cost them their license. So they're going along with problematic terming because they'll lose their license without it. Like, let's be so serious. So you're going to continue using problematic terming because you'll lose your license without that stuff. It's not giving advocacy work. It's not. Exactly. And then
license for what? The Spineless Association?
Huh?
To the
license for what?
They just say victims advocacy work, like they have certificates in it, and then their partner goes along with it. And in this call out live that they've held for an indigenous femme presenting person, they platformed that indigenous femme presenting person's abuser.
You mean like they did last night when the live they held supporting Quinn had Quinn in the comments? Quinn, the man who is the accused child molester and adult rapist, and that they were saying that we need to have empathy for him because he may have been a victim too. Wild.
So like
Huh,
it's yeah, exactly.
Just so
And
y'all know,
Irish
she just recently on the Reddit on the what was it
debate
debate
talks.
talk snark doubled down again
Oh,
after
I'm sure.
Mackie came on my live and apologized for his use of that anti-black terminology. And then in the recent Reddit conversation about Brandon's live, she doubled down again about
Oh.
the whole fleas and flying monkeys thing.
Oh no, I know Auntie Wada because guess what? I was the one that brought it up on that Reddit.
Oh, okay, that was you.
And they tried to claim it was anti-indigenous when it was absolutely historically based anti-black.
As if it being anti-indigenous is a-okay.
Astrid
it's not
messaged me.
black, it's anti-indigenous.
Astrid messaged me when that live was going on, and then I messaged Katie, and that's why Katie brought it up.
Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I'm just gonna let it slide and shit like that. Like, this is absolutely diabolical that they are sitting here defending the use of that because I'll lose my license.
Go ahead, sorry.
Let's not forget, too, that there was another time, I think Auntie Wada knows it, maybe a few of you do, but there was another time that term was used. The time I went over to Words when somebody told me that I was being talked about. And several people up on that box, Ziv, Smalls, Maki, those people at the least knew I'm black.
The anti-black call out.
Sat there and used, the second one, not the initial whatever, but the one where Ziv, stuck his little face in or whatever, and used the term flying fleas and monkeys.
I was so ignorant as to what the issue was. Now I totally understand. I wasn't putting it together. So even if it's a term of art that's used in like clinical practice and all that, what is so fucking tone deaf about not realizing, oh, you know what, maybe we should figure out another term of art we should use. And this reminds me of Planet Peterson. Planet Peterson would try to invalidate and attack religious people. And I'm not religious, right? So I'm not like trying to defend religious people, but he would try to mock and antagonize them by calling them apes. And because of evolution, because they were making the argument that like evolution versus creation. And when a black child, by the way, 14-year-old black child, turned around and said, don't call me an ape for obvious reasons, they said, well, it's biologically accurate. And so, is it accurate to say that humans are apes? Yes. Is it insensitive and anti-black to use that term to someone who is black in a way to mock them? Even when you're not doing it necessarily for a racist reason, you're trying to make the evolutionary argument. Yes, it's absolutely fucking anti-black. I mean, you could say racist, I'll defer to other people, but it's definitely anti-black and it's definitely insensitive. Similar thing here. I understand flying monkeys is a narcissistic term of art, but like I never thought of that. I never thought about how there could be harm in using that term to someone who is black. I never thought of it. So now that it's been brought to your attention, Maki, maybe just be, well, like, what's so hard about saying, I should figure out another word to make that work? Like, that's as simple as what it is.
Astrid.
I'm sorry. And can I say, regarding, like, I do think the terminology usage is wild, and I understand where Words Have Power and Maki's argument is coming from in terms of they're not the controllers of that term. You still shouldn't use it. Like, just find out a different way to use it. Like, and I understand you're saying you'll lose your license, but that's just how BIPOC advocacy works. Like, boom, boom, boom. Like, okay, but I don't want us to skip past that. In that entire call out live, they platformed that indigenous femme presenting person's abuser who is a white woman. That abuser is a white woman. And they platformed that indigenous femme presenting person's abuser.
In order to attack the abuser or to platform them in a...
No, to platform them and say, oh yeah, I'm so-and-so's abuser. Forget that. But I agree with everything you're saying. I'm a white woman, and I agree with everything you're saying about this indigenous femme-presenting person that I abuse.
So I think with them, though, they'll support you. Even if you are an abuser, they like you. But when people aren't really doing anything, they're quick to say, oh, that's Darvo. And I think it's really, really rich coming from people that advocate for the BIPOC community to be like, oh, fleas and flying monkeys isn't racist when you're being told by Black people that they're offended by it. And Katie, I have a question for you.
What's up?
Weren't these the same advocates to sit there and be microaggressive to you when you were dealing with them?
Yep.
Oh, most definitely. And let's not forget to. Sorry, what's up?
It was the same group of people.
The same little group of people. Yep. The all three call out lives about tiny ass bullshit that I told you guys about before. It's the exact same group. Exact same group.
So it's the same person that is trying to justify fleas and flying monkeys that was calling you aggressive and everything else under the sun.
Mm-hmm. Even though anybody that knows me knows I can be spicy, but I tend to be a pretty nice person, and I'll take my fucking slaps if I need to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She was microaggressive to me too, and I just don't. I for the life of me cannot remember what I argued with this bitch about though. Like I truly can, because I know I hate her. I know I do, and I know that's the reason why. I just don't recall what the argument had been that I had gotten with her and Maki. But she was extremely microaggressive, which I could absolutely be a bitch. Like I come very aggressively at people multiple times. I was not in that case until she sent me to fuck off. And I just don't remember what it was though. And I think that was like last year. So she's been doing this shit a while.
And let's not forget too that these are also the same group of people that had somebody sit up there, and I'll never forget this, and I'll probably never forgive it because it is very offensive and it's really fucked up. They sat there, Words, Maki, and the rest of them sat up there and didn't check when somebody else, a white trans man, sat up there and called Auntie Wada, a Black trans woman, a bitch in front of hundreds of people.
And they did absolutely nothing. I want to say one more thing, and then I'm gonna drop.
Maki did say that they talked to Zib privately, but I don't believe that.
No, if it's done on a public platform, it needs to be addressed publicly.
Exactly.
So this is all I have to say. So Words Have Power, Maki, Pocky, whatever you want to call yourself. You are very problematic, and you need to be better humans. The acts of Darvo that you have committed is unnecessary and is wrong. You two are unsafe people. Along with Bree, you are very unsafe, and I feel uncomfortable with you. Thank you. All right, bye everyone. I'm gonna go and make my back bigger.
Stop.
Make your what bigger?
Her back.
So they not only have come after people of color, and mind you, they're forgetting the intersectionality when they're doing this. They've come after the LGBTQ. They've come after advocates, and I find it astounding that people like Maki, Words, Esmina, Beatron, Lily can all sit and tell another member of the LGBTQ or several other members or staunch advocates who do the work every day how they should be doing it, or that they're doing it wrong and not even being correct in their critiques. So I really think that all of these people, I would suggest, because cancel culture is a problem, but I really would suggest, if you don't want to be pulled into some fuck shit, don't go into their spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I'm going to center myself, which is how Zombie would phrase it, and I don't know how it's going to be phrased, but you know what? Call to action. Anyone on this app who would like to be a Discord join a Discord where our purpose is getting rid of really fucking shitty creators who are narcissistic asshats, please send me an invite. Irish and NYC, all lowercase. Irish and NYC, all lowercase. Send me an invite, because at this point, I'm tired of it. We have no power to stop these narcissistic asshats. This isn't about calling out like bad behavior and people correcting it, because when Wadi talked about the idea of people using the term bitch, I try not to use that term towards women, and I've been pretty good at that for 2.5 years, despite how heated my shit goes. I've used that term against women probably 5 times, maybe 10 at most. And I'm sorry about it. Like, I don't like to use that term. And I know there's a lot of people who say it's a gender neutral term. And that's why I do use it, because in my head, I'm not using it as a gendered term, right? But like, if someone was to say, hey, can you just not use that specific term? I can just take a moment and be like, yeah, you know what? My bad. I won't use that specific term. And that's it. That's it. It's just about acknowledging, yeah, okay, my bad. You don't even have to apologize. You can say, I didn't think about that being a little extra harmful because of the fact that you're a black woman. And so I retract that statement. You don't even have to apologize. Just recognize the harm that you're doing. But there's people on this app who don't give a shit, who will not change. And because they're narcissistic, they have no shame. So they don't go away. They just keep coming back like fucking cockroaches over and over again. If you want to be part of a Discord notification group where we all work together to get these fucking ass clowns, feel free to message me, Irish and NYC, all lowercase. Basically my username without numbers, all lowercase, because I'm setting that up. I'm done with this nonsense.
It's right above Irish.
Fuck. Just lost it. Sorry, everyone.
That's okay. Yeah, these, I don't know. I've had limited
and if anyone else has
interactions, but they're problematic.
I just want to ask Irish, could you make a separate Discord for that?
Obviously, Astrid, I will be. It won't be the same as my private Discord. It'll be purely a coordination Discord, because anyone coming into my Discord obviously is incredibly well vetted. I don't want to make anyone in my Discord ever feel worried or anyone to ever be concerned about that.
Absolutely. I love you for that. I was just, because me and Dom were talking in the comments about it.
Yeah, it's a coordination.
I was about to leave. I'm not even gonna hold you.
It's a coordination thing. So I want to be able to coordinate with like-minded people with like-minded ethics to make sure that people who are bad people are chased off the app. And unlike these cowards, I'm not afraid to address things. So Jonathan Gray, Avery, in the comments, just said, go watch my video of Irish talking to kids. Go watch their video. I don't run away from anything. What the hell are you talking about? Like, I'm not afraid of shit, because if I do something wrong, I don't believe I'm perfect. I don't believe that I'm someone who doesn't goof up. I don't believe that I'm not someone who messes up. Like, we all do. It's okay. But you gotta just say, I fucked up. My bad. Won't do it again. That's it. Period. Full stop.
I did it earlier. I fucked up. I recognize that. Sorry. Go ahead, Kate.
I like to point out too, right? And I'm making it more and more known the last day or so. We also have to be willing to give people grace and stop harassing, stop bullying, stop the fucking stalking of people because of something they've done. If they recognize they did wrong and they apologize and they work on making things better, shut the fuck up. Let people make mistakes sometimes. If it's something egregious, I get it. Get them. Fine. No problem. But if it's a matter of like a small wording or something that looks a little bit bad or whatever else, let it be what it is. Take that as a teaching moment. Be forgiving. We're supposed to be the people that are forgiving. And yet, if you say anything wrong, you can literally, I've witnessed it myself, breathe wrong and something will come out of it. And that is monumentally mind-numbing because someone breathed.
It's crazy.
We need to get over that bullshit. None of us are perfect. This weird, and I do mean weird, this weird borderline puritanical thing that goes on is disgusting. It is disgusting. I personally don't care for it. I don't care what anybody had to say about it. It's disgusting. We're humans. We need to be allowed to be humans.
I will say...
I do...
Oh, go ahead, Irish. I'll go after you.
I just want to say very quickly, okay? So Jonathan asked people to go look at the videos on his account. So feel free. He's saying that there's evidence of me talking to minors. I want to talk about when your hatred for someone makes you do harmful stuff, you are now the problem. And so I'll give credit to Zombie on this. Zombie didn't post harmful information in this regard. So props to Zombie on that, because Zombie was fed this, looked at it, and said, you know what, that doesn't seem credible. Avery, who is absolutely proven dispositively to have been following over 100 MINORs and engaging in their content, supporting them, doing age regression, and messaging them. Avery right now, who's using the Jonathan account, has screenshots that purport to have me talking to a 13-year-old. Go look at those screenshots. They're fake. They're obviously fake. Not only does it not sound anything like me, these were created by Peterson's friends who posted them on their account. And when I told them that I would make sure that people know that they manufactured screenshots and that by doing that, they're going to discredit actual victims. They're going to now, whenever someone comes forward and says, I have proof that this person was doing something inappropriate, by creating fake screenshots, you are now creating a narrative that the victim may be lying by faking a screenshot. You now are discrediting victims and making it harder for people to believe victims by making fake screenshots. And so I messaged the person who first posted that. Their name is, I'm trying to think. They have a mock account making fun of a flat earther. If someone can remind me in the comments, the name is not the actual name of the person who did it. The account is named after a flat earther they're mocking. And when I messaged them, I said, okay, great. You just posted these messages from TikTok, right? So what? Oh, that's what it was. So the person who first posted them was called Gene Techman with 2 letters on the end of it. But it's not Gene Techman. They're mocking Gene Techman, right? They posted those screenshots and I said, oh, great. You seem to be in contact with the victim. So why don't you show a video of those messages? Why don't you show a video showing someone open up that message so that it's a real message and not fake screenshots? And then I also said, if there's a victim, why don't you tell people who that victim is so they can get in contact and validate who it is? And once I did that, they deleted the screenshots, obviously, right? Avery then got those screenshots and is now trying to pass them off as if they're real screenshots. Go look at them. The other error with those screenshots, by the way, is that the day that they posted them, they clearly went to my Irish and NYC account. They looked at my follower account in order to copy that number to make it look more credible. But then the messages were dated a week or a week and a half prior. And they didn't think about the fact that if the messages were dated a week and a half prior, then why would the follower account be today's follower account? And we called them out on that as well. So Avery right now is using fake screenshots in order to discredit me. And what Avery's really doing is harming actual victims, because real victims won't be believed when they know people like Avery can go out there using and fabricating screenshots in order to make someone look like they're someone who endangers children. Whereas the screenshots on Avery are not only screenshots, I video recorded your account, Avery. If that receipts account is still in here, go to that receipts account. That receipts account literally has video recording of me scanning through Avery's following list, a video of it. And if anyone needs me to repost that entire video, because the person who has that receipts account, who even found receipts I wasn't even aware of. I didn't know there was receipts of Avery talking about their 7.5 ding dong on what's her name? who's the person who got chased off? Adora, on Adora's live. I didn't even have those receipts. So props to you, Receipts account, who was able to get better receipts than me. But go to their account and you'll see video recording proving that it's Avery's account. And if Avery disputes it's their account, I have the full recording. I'll happily do another live on you, Avery. Avery, do you want that? Do you want me to keep doing lives on you, Avery? I did 3 or 4 lives. Wrecked your reputation. What the fuck do you think I'm going to do with 10 lives?
Avery could have
the arrogance of you asshats.
Went away in the background, not said anything, left everybody alone, and it could have died down. But Avery wants to keep going.
And who does that? Narcissists. You got outed, and for that reason, you can never let go of the anger you have towards me because you got outed. It's pathetic. Follow that account. The Avery account that's saying hi. Follow that account.
This one.
Go to that account. Yep, go to that account. And I don't know if they still have it on friend. They had it on friend only. And so you have to like send them a follow request and then they follow you back. And when you do, they had so many more videos. I thought they only had like 3 or 4 videos. They have so many more videos. And if you follow that account, you will see everything on Avery. And you'll get to know who the real Avery is. And Avery, push me after today. You or your neighbor, Jonathan, do anything after today, and I'm doing lives on you every day for a fucking month, Avery. Unless you want to play that video right now, you know the video, where secrets lie. We want to give a recap as to who Avery is right now, because I'll happily play that. If you want me to play that video so you don't risk the banana and you can make me big screen, I'll happily do that.
I can big screen you. You know, it just does it wider. So, yeah.
Oh, it doesn't go wide. Yeah, no, forget it then.
Okay. Well, send it to me. I'll throw it on the background.
It's on the get it from the Avery account. They would have it. Yeah, just grab it from the Avery account, right?
Yeah, let me try to.
I can't send because it's more than a minute. I think.
Oh.
I think it's more than a minute, isn't it?
Hold up.
I was gonna say, I think we should stick to the motherfuckers on the background.
Yeah, let's definitely.
My bad. Sorry.
No, you're good, Irish.
That's a good point.
Like, I mean, I'm just gonna say, if Avery isn't tired of Avery callouts, I don't know why, because I'm exhausted with Avery callouts. Like, girl, aren't you tired of being dragged all over the app? Like, we're tired of watching you get dragged, so you have to be tired.
Some people like pain.
I honestly think it's a kink. I genuinely think it's a kink at this point.
I just want to see, like...
No shame.
The two up there being rightfully dragged, because...
No shame in general?
No shame,
No,
but I don't
definitely shame
consent,
on
you freak.
her.
I don't consent.
Right.
Nah, no shame in general, but shame on you. Shame on you.
If we want, we could dissect Says Powers videos where she's a sanctimonious, pretentious, like asshat. Yeah. Like, it's crazy the videos that she does.
Oh, can we watch the one where they essentially justify calling people flying monkeys? Because that would be hilarious.
Oh yeah,
I think where that one is. Is it? Do I got that on YouTube or yeah?
I don't know if you have it on YouTube, but it is definitely on their page.
And
I never would have thought of that as problematic. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
There's the one where Maki admits to it. I seen it not too long ago. The whole thing with because I was the one that brought it up when Maki came up on the.
The third thing that Kamala Harris said is she wanted to do a $15,000 first-time home buyer credit to people that were buying homes for the first time. Donald Trump said he wanted
for illegal immigrants.
For how does an illegal?
I actually.
Sorry, I was trying to mute the TikTok. I tried to pull it out.
Remember, Katie, I was the one that come up on the panel and said it. And
yeah.
Everybody, like, yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm like, hey, what'd you say?
And then that's when he admitted to it, because it's like, I was like, don't lie, Maki. Like, it's not gonna look good.
I will say they. Both of them have they them pronouns. Words of Power and Maki use they them pronouns.
Oh, both of them do.
Oh, Words of Power is non-binary.
Yep.
I thought she kept saying she was a woman over and over again. She's non-binary woman, or like, is that a thing? I didn't know that was a thing.
They acknowledge themselves as femme presenting, as far as I know, because remember I was like knowledgeable in the group before they decided to kick me out. Like, they use they them pronouns, both of them.
Okay, I'll do that. I didn't know.
Okay, I did not know that either. Thank you for telling me.
No problem.
Yeah, good catch.
They still deserve to be called out because they think that being Latin is a separate race, and they think that just because they're white presenting doesn't mean that they like. I'm just tired as a black woman.
Wait.
I genuinely think white presenting indigenous folk, to the extent that you endure any discrimination of any type, personally, like, you can complain about it, like, that's on you, but like, that's what's allowed me to empathize with people who are black and POC, because it's given me a taste, a tiny insight into what it is they go through. So like, you know, in Ireland, it's stuff you guys wouldn't even fucking pick up on, right? I get mocked on this app all the time because of my accent. And it's not just about an accent, because in Ireland, one thing I've not been able to get rid of is the TH. I can't pronounce TH, right? What most people don't understand is that's not simply an accent. The reason why we don't pronounce TH is because it's a hangover from our native language. So Irish Gaelic, THs were never pronounced. And so people who were born in Ireland, because of our native language, we have never really adopted the use of TH. And people mock me all the time for that, right? And pisses me off, it annoys me, right? But that just gives me insight into what it must be like. Imagine being black and using AAVE. Sorry?
Well, be Caribbean. A lot of Caribbeans, or Pacific Islanders and stuff will do the T, like tree and things like that, but just obviously to say with their accent.
Yeah, but I guess the point I mean is that I kind of use that. I don't use that to say, oh, I know what it's like to be black and to be mocked for using AAVE. I don't do that. It gives me insight in terms of like how it must feel to be mocked for using a perfectly fine vernacular that is simply the vernacular you use, but you're being mocked because you're being othered. It gives me insight into that, but like I don't center it by saying, because people mock me all the time for not saying that word, and that's actually due to my native language that everyone in the planet outside of Ireland is woefully ignorant about. I don't go around complaining or whining about it or using that to elevate me up to the level of victimization that other people go through. That's what's gross. And I can't stand it when white indigenous people do it. They do, like, it's funny, if anyone introduces themselves as white presenting indigenous, there's a very good chance they're about to do that. And it's absolutely wrong.
Absolutely Irish. And I'm sure you know my background as like an African linguist. And so like I understand that completely. I think like cultural linguistics in terms of like putting it above other forms of English and other forms of language, I think it's absolutely disgusting. If you understand what's being said, that is proper English. If you understand what's being said, that's proper language usage. And I absolutely don't agree with you. I think I heard you say before that like you were involved in the Irish traveler community, which I absolutely understand. My one white grandparent is Irish, but she is Romani Irish traveler. And so I understand that. And
well, that wouldn't be Irish traveler, just to be clear. So Romani is
both.
a different.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's another thing that like Avery doesn't understand is that Romani and Irish travelers basically intermixed a lot. There's a lot of there's a lot of crossover. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like she's both. So like it's crazy how you can look at Irish people and be like, oh, I can determine what you are and blah 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 blah. Like It's gross. I think it's gross to underestimate people based off of their linguistic abilities.
I have a
I can't
major issue with
that's
that.
why. What's that, Tom?
I have that's been like a thing for me for like the past fucking month is
What?
that my New York accent or whatever the fuck, like hood accent, makes people act like I'm dumb, and I hate that shit. Like
That's adorable.
I have literally like some people likely have noticed that I have actually code switched like a motherfucker throughout the past month because that shit has been bothering me so much.
Okay, just like I'm a fan of calling out white indigenous people who are trying to claim the victimization and burden and discrimination of Black and POC, I'm not going to stand for Dom, who lives in fucking upstate New York, claiming to be from New York, okay? Claiming to be victimized based on her accent, which is copying.
I'm getting so tired of him.
Seriously. Irish.
I got you, bitch.
See,
that's what happens when you're not as scared of me as you are of Mac.
She booted, yeah. Dom.
Anyway, let's get
I got a
the
question.
WordsHavePower
Are we
thing.
doing lunch tomorrow or what? Because I'm out in Syracuse. I'm out in Syracuse.
God, we're so close. You're like, I'm like an hour from you. Period. Oh my God. I'm glad I know that now because if I'm ever out there, shut up, Irish. Stop crying. Nobody cares about your self-victimization.
I'm going to meet Dom and Irish.
Besides the fact that Irish is from Ireland. You're not even from fucking city, you fucker.
I remember something that I mentioned earlier. So, so back when B-Tron was complaining about not being able to speak, I don't know if some of y'all have seen some of these other lives that they hold, the little call-out live thingies. But B-Tron would try to go so hard on people when there's a bunch of other people. I've been subject to it. I believe Emily's been subject to it. Several other people have. And yet here B-Tron is with just Irish, folding like a paper cup. It's sad. It's really sad that they get the exact same treatment just from one person that they give to others, with all these other people also joining B-Tron. It's nuts. And Irish, I want to say to you, I'm glad that you gave B-Tron at least a small dose of what she's been doing to other people.
Well, I don't know who B-Tron, I assume it's Bree. I don't know who they are. I don't know what their history is. But like, I didn't know if they were problematic generally. I just thought last night they were incredibly arrogant, ignorant, and they were enjoying jumping in on bullying someone they knew nothing about. And I was like, that's gross. And then when they messaged me and slid into my DMs, but then claimed that I'm harassing them by responding, I was like, I don't like you. But I didn't know anything about them. And I was actually honestly a little bit worried because I didn't know until after the fact that they were trans. I had no idea they were trans until after the fact. And I was worried that, is this someone who is, well known and popular within trans advocacy, and maybe there's just been some sort of misunderstanding between two of us or something. So I really didn't know who they were and what was sort of going on. So the fact that there's prior issues, like, feel free to educate me. I have no clue.
Just that whole little group. I mean, there's a whole little group of people that like going around just yelling at people that they're problematic, with or without proof, including the time that they claimed I said something and that's on video, and when I asked them to run the video, they said no, that they won't. So it's like, well, what proof, right? I found that hilarious, and yet when you come up, I'm sorry, not when you come up, I'm sorry, I misspoke. When you ask them simple questions that they should know, they just fold. Every time they're pushed against in a just a little bit, they just fold. And I'm surprised what they didn't do is say that you're doing Darvo because they love using that phrase. And I hate that TikTok apparently got people to know what that phrase is because people use it all the time in the wrong context. Like my eyes roll so far back in my head, it's in my brain whenever I hear it.
Like if you watch the videos that Words Has Power, or I'm going to call them Wishes Has Power, like they're just obsessed with being, I don't know, respected. The amount of Darvo they engage in 6 videos was insane. Absolutely insane. The amount of gaslighting was just a different level. Where, like, the fact that they repeatedly said that I do this for money and that because I'm making a platform on the back of victims, I have an obligation to donate all my money. When I then proved last night, which I'll happily do again right now if anyone wants me to, I showed my accounts live. And I've not extracted a single penny from my app, not a single penny in all this time. But then you go, someone told me about their page that they had gone through it. Thank you to you. I love you. If you're in here, you were earlier. And I went through it and I saw that Words Has Power uses their platform to sell like fucking cheap shit. And like, so like, you know, let's call a spade a spade. Every complaint that they were making about me was something they were guilty of, and it was pathetic.
Every accusation is a confession.
Well, then you must be absolutely gorgeous and charming.
No, don't. I wasn't accusing you.
I'm definitely accusing you.
Hi, Raven.
Drop you again.
I do recommend we get back onto Words Have Power and Maki, but in terms of Bree the Haunted Beachon, I will let you know, last time that she reached out to me was about making sure that she was doing right in terms of advocating for BIPOC people, especially Black individuals. And then I messaged her today about, like, you know, it's kind of upsetting that you're stigmatizing white presenting people who have called me, a Black woman, a flying monkey, and a flea. Which, you know what? I like Red Hot Chili Peppers, but I don't like being called a flea. But like calling a Black woman that, and I discovered that I was blocked on Discord.
Respectfully, you are hot.
Dom, please.
Sorry, I just had to throw that in there. Just suck a dick, please. Backwards.
You want some Capavergiana food?
What the fuck? What the? I've never heard that before.
I'll make you some Afro Portuguese food.
Oh, please. Period. Like, listen.
But moral of the story, she has reached out to me, like, because I was close to her, about making sure that she's not being anti-Black. And then I discovered it today when I decided to message her on Discord about being upset that she's siding with people that are being obviously anti-Black, that I am blocked, so she didn't even get my message.
I'm surprised you weren't blocked sooner, because in the snark they said anyone who associates with Katie is DTM, unalive to me. And I read that maybe an hour after it was posted and just laughed.
Well, the thing is, I probably was. I haven't checked to see if I was blocked in a long time. And I was probably blocked soon after they decided to hold, the two of them decided to hold that live against an indigenous femme-presenting person. So, that they called me a flying monkey and a flea for. So, yeah.
They may as well have called you a roach. Like, that's what that reminded me of. Like, somebody, like how people call Black girls roaches. That's exactly what that made me think of.
What is the flea terminology? I've heard of flying monkey when it comes to triangulation. What is flea a term of art I didn't know about?
I don't know, but it just made me feel like it was like even a double down. Like when they said, "Oh, a flying monkey and a flea," I was like, "Oh, okay."
That's goofy.
It's like not demure, not cutesy, not mindful at all. As a Black woman who has experienced that in my life, being called dehumanizing terms, did not expect for me, a victim of abuse, to be called dehumanizing terms by a quote-unquote victim's advocate that is scared to lose their license by trying to use a different term.
On the topic of licenses, why do these people keep claiming that they are somehow, I don't know, they have certificates that apparently enable them to talk about all types of victimization or something? Like, does anyone know what the hell I'm talking about? Like, they claim to be educated, informed, knowledgeable. Does anyone have any clue what they're talking about?
No, and that's why I had issues with them posturing from a position of authority before. Like, really, we're doing that? And then frickin' WordsHavePower wanted to do the same thing in that live. Like, I'm an authority on this. You're on fucking social media.
From what I see online, like Reddit said fleece is an acronym. It said that it's like the old saying, when you lie down with dogs, you get up with fleas. That's some kind of victim blaming. I'm not gonna hold you.
Oh my god.
But I can't find much else about it. But if you like look in the living with narcissism Reddits, that's what they're kind of referring to.
So not only are they referring to me as a flea, but they're referring to an indigenous femme-presenting person as a dog. Like, that's crazy work.
No, period. Because yeah, that's literally all I could find on it. Like, because you could find flying monkeys, but you can only really find like anything in reference to fleas on these life after narcissism Reddits, and that's what I'm seeing.
And I just want to know, like, in terms of the flying monkey thing, because they said that it was in reference to indigenous people. I'm not going to knock that, but at the same time, everything that I have found in my extensive research has been in reference to Black individuals. Like,
Wait,
Black people. Like,
wait, I'm an idiot. I thought it was in reference to Wizard of Oz.
Yes, it is.
It is.
I understand that. Yes, it is. But in my, like, everything I've seen is like talking about Wizard of Oz and then the link to Black people.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't Wizard of Oz though the flying monkeys and stuff? That was a racial reference on as well.
That's what I was saying, like on Black individuals, but everything they said has been indigenous individuals, and I'm like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, because even that still, like, that the movie itself in certain parts of it had like racial inferences.
Exactly. It's like it's been anti-Black. Like the author is anti-Black, the movie was anti-Black. But they're saying that it's linked to anti-indigenous stuff, and I'm not gonna knock that. Absolutely, like, absolutely not. But everything that I have seen has been about anti-Blackness. So.
I just keep learning things. I had no idea.
Irish, I'm sorry I stole your thunder. I didn't know you were going to go live tonight about it.
I mean, I was literally minutes away from going live on WordsHavePower, and it was going to be a petty live because it's Friday, so you just don't have a lot of people tuning in on Fridays. So I knew I'd be deflecting away from the Kendra stuff, which, but you know, sometimes you got to deal with your own shit, and like I was just feeling pissed off from last night, and so I was going to get a petty live out tonight, and then go back to the Kendra stuff and focus on that tomorrow.
I'm sorry, Irish. I think you should still do it.
Oh, yeah.
No, I probably will. I'll go through their messages. Like,
yeah.
She's just, well, I mean, this is not bad. Like, at all, I don't think.
No.
Yo, you keep fucking jump scaring me with that goddamn profile. What the hell is this?
Brother,
homework. I'm not even concentrating. Actually, I'm a sidebar real quick. Irish, what is this that you're less scared of me now?
Y'all, everyone go follow the Avery Von Fay account on the panel.
How are you going to claim that I would be scared of you?
Oh, so you never was okay. Let me mute because I remember that.
You're gonna have to do a little bit more than that.
No.
All right. Because I'm not gonna say I'm scared of a black woman, Dom. You think I'm gonna be clipped like that? You think I'm a fool?
Well, pretend you're talking to my white side.
Oh my God, I'm so gonna get canceled.
All right, let's do this. Quick poll in chat. Smiley face if Irish is scared of Dom. Cried face if he's not.
He has said he's scared of me multiple times, and now suddenly Mac's scarier than me. Mac.
I'm gonna say this.
No offense, Mac, but Mac.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna take a little heat for Irish. I'm more afraid of Maki than I am of Dom.
Maki?
That's insane.
That's crazy.
We need to talk.
That's insane.
I'm not even like.
I've gone soft.
I've
gone soft.
I'm not even like scared of Maki or anybody. It's like, let's be for real. Maki has hated me and just never will engage with me. Just likes to talk shit. Like, oh, I hate Echo, but I'm not gonna say why. It's another one of my fan clubs.
Here's why I would say I do. I don't know if fear is the right word. Resent maybe. Someone like Maki, definitely someone like WordsHavePower, definitely Zombie, and definitely Avery. And the reason is I will do a live exposing them for what they did, and because they're narcissists and they can't apologize and take accountability, they will spend the entirety of their life on TikTok focused on me and trying to in some way diminish me or life on TikTok, focused on me and trying to in some way I'm not going to give two shits about you, Maki, or WordsHavePower, because both of you are losers and I've never cared about you guys. But I'm gonna like live in your heads rent free for the rest of your lives because you're pathetic, insecure little bitch boys.
I'm okay. Based off what you said, Iris, I'm gonna say, I'm sure Dom can agree. Like, considering we are both black women, but me in my lived experience as a Cape Verdean woman, and I know none of y'all understand how Cape Verdean people be. Like, I understand none of y'all understand that. I hold a grudge to the end of my life. Like, it is crazy work. So, it's not you living rent-free in my head. It's, I'm gonna make sure you suffer for the rest of your life.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even remember. I don't remember the exact reason I hate this bitch. I don't remember. I don't remember what the conversation fucking was. I don't remember what the live was. All I know is I ran into this bitch. I had an argument with this bitch, and now I hate her, and now she gotta go.
Oh no,
I'm
a remember. This is the thing. This is the thing. I'm a remember because God forsake me if I forget what you did wrong to me.
I have awful memory. I don't know if it's from having a kid. I don't fucking know. I have awful memory. But I'm gonna remember the principle of it. I am going to remember the principle why I fucking hate you. And I know for a fact that I hate that bitch. And I know for a fact that I think Baki is a puss. So exactly. I know. That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know is because I know that if you got me pissed off, there was a reason for it. And if I hate you, there's a reason for it. So I don't need to know exactly why because I know I'm right. I know I'm right.
Especially if it was for like a race issue. Like if you sat here and was like discriminatory to me or like did a microaggression against me, I will remember that. I don't forget that. And I will make sure, like, I will never let that go.
I'll come up with a whole different, I will find a whole different reason as to why that bitch gotta go down. I don't need to know the initial reason. All I know is that I hate you, and now I'm on your ass, boy. So now next time you do some shit, I'm gonna be on you even harder than I would have been if I remembered why I hated your ass to begin with.
Exactly, and that's why this is a learning lesson. Like, me and Dom, don't just dismiss us. We are scary.
The reason why I'm gonna wrap my foot right in my mouth for this one. The reason why why I'm more scared of Maki than Dom is because Maki has no spine, and so they can show up wherever they want.
Like
Dom has a
Fair point.
spine, so I know at least there are some places I'm safe to hide in. Maki would just slither right in, would just slide right in like Paper Mario under a
Fair
door,
enough.
and bam! Next thing you know, there they are.
It's given a flubber situation.
Dom,
I understand.
Dom though would just bust right into your house, but at least you hear it coming.
It's crazy because I'm actually so calm and demure and kind and like have
Objection,
parties and shit.
speculation,
Like,
unfounded, lack
nobody
of
told you to talk.
Darvo,
White man, be quiet. I'm actually so kind and
Darvo.
nice and sweet. Thank you, Sierra. I am a literal angel. I'm a little angel. Okay? So when I meet Echo to have lunch, when I get my license, Echo will tell you all how kind and demure and sweet I am.
And then Irish can be jealous.
Yeah, Irish is definitely gonna be jealous because he don't want to step foot in upstate New York. So
No, stay in the city.
I just want to say
I don't like to take long-term vacations.
I just think screaming Darvo is crazy, considering that's like all of their excuses every single time. Like you disagree with them, like, oh no, me calling you out for your anti-black racism, Darvo. Like, what are we doing here?
Something else too. This was the thing how it kept escaping my mind, and now I got it. I remember the second time I was being called out, and it was by Words. And Words said something that really stuck with me. I found it funny. They said, there's a reason that my name is Words Have Power, because they do have power. Words matter. And you really should think about what you're going to say before you say it. Because whether you know it or not, or whether you recognize it or not, they can cause harm. Yes, with a very NPR voice. They can cause harm. And what you are doing is harmful. Nobody needs to tell you why. And if people want to bring it up whenever they want to bring it up, then they can. They can mention whatever harm that you've done to them whenever you want. Even though the person that I supposedly harmed was not even on the panel and was not even on our side as far as debating. This was just some rando that was saying 2 hours of transphobia.
You just made me remember part of the argument. I did tell her ass. I said I was like, it is funny how your name is Words Have Power, yet you be saying stupid shit. I do remember that now.
Yeah, Pamela, it didn't age well. It ain't aged well at all. It aged like spoiled milk on the sun.
Echo, I'm about to send you something because I think it's going to show up better for you than it would for me in this tiny box. Give me a second.
Everything about her is so fucking performative. Like, child, what is the character you're playing, bitch? Like, I mean, lady. I mean.
No, it's okay if you say it because you're a woman.
Echo, when KT said,
no, but they're non-binary. I'd be forgetting sometimes.
Echo, when KT said that was their face, I think it was Macac. What they called themselves?
Oh my god, that's the new name, Macac.
When Katie said that they don't got a spine, that's what I thought of.
Oh, please show it.
Recently, they were like, "Oh yeah, I'm indigenous though." Like, blah blah blah. blah. Like, I'm a be indigenous, and even though I'm white presenting, like that's not gonna take my like. Yes, I agree. You're still white presenting. Like, you're not gonna like in public. You're not gonna experience the same stuff that I do as a.
Is this bitch cool as Sage? I'm just saying. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Is this bitch cool with Sage? Because I swear it's verbatim.
Probably.
Verbatim.
It makes me so aggravated. Like, you are like I'm not dismissing your indigeneity, anybody's indigeneity, but if you're white presenting.
Who's this? Who?
Jonathan person, is that Avery?
That's Avery. That's Avery.
Yeah.
That's Avery.
If you don't get on.
Oh my God. Oh my God, Pamela, I hate you. You are messy.
Sorry, I gotta
Sliding.
restart.
You don't get on.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Stanley, that's.
You are messy, Pamela. You are messy.
That's looking
There
like it's
is
a
a
mouse wanting a cookie.
resemblance. There is a
You
resemblance.
know what, Pamela, I'm putting you. I'm not putting you on a whiteboard. I'm putting you on a white billboard for this.
No,
How dare you?
I would prefer to be put on a Prada bag. We all know this.
We do know this.
Mm-hmm.
I do find it funny that that Iris mentioned how spineless Maki is, because I was thinking back to the few interactions we did have, and when they're in a position of power, they want to act big and bad, like last night, like with me in a previous live, when they act big and bad and tough, but then when they're in a space where they have no power, or the other person has power, they are completely spineless. They're very like.
Did you realize that all that bass and energy they had in their voice goes away when they're in a space that they know they're not going to get away with anything in?
Like Auntie Waters or Auntie Feathers. Yeah, they got
all of a
real
sudden was
quiet.
I'm sorry for that. I apologize deeply and sincerely.
They got real quiet and they got real shy. But when they have some kind of power, they want to charge in and start yelling and pointing their finger and everything else. And it's like, oh, you're just a coward.
They're just as flat as the other one's whiteboard.
Yeah.
These hoes, when they got a mute button, honey, they are dangerous. Any other time, it's like playing with kittens.
Yeah, which is sad, because it's like there's other people out there who will stand on their shit in a very hostile environment and be just fine. But look what happened to B-Tron today. Maki.
You imagine?
Well, Maki wasn't making a noise. Maki was more like that sliding paper sound when you slide it under a door. That was Maki.
Every time Maki talks, someone just needs to crumble up a piece of paper.
No, you think I won't? You think I won't?
You think
Ask
we ain't that
anybody
petty?
here who knows me. I will absolutely do it.
Imagine someone that calls themselves Satan telling you to shut up.
I'll just go like this. I'll just go every time.
Just make a paper airplane and throw it.
Stop. I'm gonna start calling Maki paper Makio.
Paper mache.
I like
flames. All right.
If you catch me in the corner, I got pieces of you.
I don't look.
Okay,
It's not. It's not.
There it is.
It's not body shaming. I'm clothes shaming. I can't take someone who dresses like that seriously. I can't.
Yeah, that vest is
You literally dress like a pirate who works at like a pirate-themed restaurant. It's embarrassing.
I've seen that kind of gear. I'm not even kidding. I seen that kind of gear 10 years ago when I worked in a Renaissance fair. That exact same gear, the pants, the vest, everything. There's just no undershirt.
That's what he wears going to bed. That's weird.
I saw that same outfit when I was checking out with my band tees at Hot Topic last week.
I don't know. It's giving like shirtless Neo or something. It's a little.
I would take my words back if Maki comes up here. I would take my words back right now.
I'm gonna find some paper first. Hold up.
I'm trying to get Black Candy in here. Shh. I'm lying. Okay, I'm trying to get Black Candy in here. Oh my God.
Are we good with the background?
I said crumpled paper.
You actually did it though.
I like as you guys are like saying that you fear this person. I'm like, have you guys seen this person? He looks like a puppy dog. Like I can't take him seriously.
Yeah, come on. Do you think I could actually be scared of somebody like that? Come on. There's no fucking way.
And it sucks because like I'm partial to chest hair. I love me a little chesty hair, but that's just haunting. It's haunting. It's bothering me.
Chest hair on someone who looks like a child. Like look at his face. He's the head of a child.
I don't know if they're over the age of 40 or in their 20s.
I do know that Words is like 50 or very close to it.
Somebody put like a better looking head on there, and then I could work with that.
I like I said before, like let's say you at least use the like correct pronouns, Maki and words have power.
They. Sorry,
them.
Yeah, like there's something so youthful though. I don't know.
It's the eyebrows. It's the eyebrows. I'm telling you, eyebrows be like really doing things, because whoever's doing their eyebrows, and I bet you it's what's.
It's her. It's them. I guarantee you.
I was gonna say, I bet you it's the pig.
You want to know what's really upsetting about this? They're not ugly people. They're actually quite good-looking people. It's just their personalities and their character.
Right. Beauty is subjective.
They're like ugly people.
Beauty is subjective, especially to someone who's visually impaired. Hello.
Somewhere. You know, in somebody's attic, there's a picture of Maki and words.
So much better.
I really hope people get the reference here, so somebody didn't say I'm body shaming or whatever. But it is what it is. Somewhere in someone's attic, there's a picture of Maki and words getting prettier. If you get the reference, you get it. And if you don't, read the portrait of Dorian Gray.
Just to be clear,
do they have this?
Just to be clear,
do they have whatever it is you want me to read in spoken
Braille?
word? Fuck Braille.
Wow, that's it. Echo. You think all people who have vision issues read in Braille? That's pretty.
Some do.
Lightest. I don't.
Some do.
To be fair, Echo and I know each other, and Echo knows that I like to make.
Blind Swan is ready to fight about it though. Not too much on her.
So I want to be perfectly clear. We've talked about the issues. We've talked about what was said. We talked about them defending. This is just us being petty at this point.
I did have a question, because I listened earlier and I did have a question. The person that they're defending has a name to someone who has a very big following on this, or name similar to someone who has a very big following on this.
Yeah, he's got 4 million people. That's him.
That's him, the guy who puts Karens on blast, right?
Uh-huh.
Same guy? Okay. Well, I wouldn't know unless...
Wait, because this is the first time I'm hearing of this one person.
I'll give the very quick summary.
Platform?
Quinn Pratt has 4.1 million followers. He came out and victim blamed and victim shamed an SA victim because that SA victim was accusing his buddy, who has 10 million followers. That person is called Officer Yudi. Quinn, rather than trying to gather the facts, Quinn, without any regard for the harm he would do to other SA victims, decided to call that woman a liar and then bully her, and then started pulling up her court records showing that she had been accused of domestic violence. Her own husband, I'll say it again, her own husband authorized her to show videos that showed that he was abusive because he worked through his trauma. He is now on the other side of that trauma. He now takes accountability for what happened in that relationship. From what I've heard, he's actually a remarkable person, a remarkable example of someone who could do bad things and learn and be a better person. The fact that he authorized her to do that and has been supporting her throughout this while Quinn has been trying to say that she was the DV perp has been disgusting. Quinn then tried to allude to the fact that she was doing something schmexually inappropriate with her children and that he had court documents to prove it. Then he said, I invite you to find anything on me. And I stepped in at that point.
That was the wrong thing to say to anyone.
And at that point, just to like sum it up, court documents were revealed that shows that at the age of 11, he and his 14-year-old brother were accused of schmexual child molestation of a 7-year-old girl on multiple occasions. And when that person was telling their father and the father reported to the police, Quinn then decided to try to bully that person as much as they could in order to make sure that they would not talk. An 11 and 14-year-old were bullying the person they were accused of child molestation that then forced the father to go get a protective order to protect their children. In addition, that same person was convicted of stealing and ultimately tried to blame his friend narked on his friend, snitched on his friend, and then later on, that same person, Quinn Pratt, was accused in court documents of graping a woman, beating that woman, and then essaying her again at a later point. And when that person went to report it, Quinn Pratt admitted that he told them that he would report them to immigration so that she would lose her child and or get deported and or lose everything. Quinn Pratt is now saying that it's not his fault and he's actually the victim because now he's telling people something nobody knew beforehand. He's now claiming that his father child molested him and that's why he did what he did. But he's not admitting he did it, but he did an entire video saying, you know, if I did it, here's why, and this is horrible that people are upset with me because I molested a child. And then WordsHavePower stepped in and said, that's right, Quinn, I stand by you. I agree with you that we shouldn't blame someone who is 11 years of age for molesting a 7-year-old multiple times and then bullying that 7-year-old into silence, because if they have trauma, then they're a victim too. And WordsHavePower then advised Quinn to take legal action to protect him and advised and tried to offer empathy and emotional support to Quinn while also trying to silence reports about his victims. While at the same time, WordsHavePower was claiming to be a victim's advocate. Maki, who I don't know if this is unfair or uncouth for me to say, clearly is her sexual gimp or their sexual gimp. Like, tell me I'm wrong that you don't think that they have like a leash. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
so
mean a
you're
figurative
not.
leash.
You're-
I
no,
mean a
you're-
sexual leash. Tell me I'm
No,
wrong.
you're literally not wrong. You're literally not wrong. They've made it clear that they were like a dom multiple times, which is part of the problem I have with them. Is they then project that into actual conversation when they speak
Exactly.
to people, and I didn't consent to that bitch.
And Irish, I apologize for my ignorance on the
I gotta
situation.
say, if you want to dominate me in the
Ignorance?
conversation,
What'd you do?
have a cat suit on. Hello?
Just, I didn't know what was going on. I apologize for asking questions. I know sometimes that upsets people.
Oh, I didn't see you doing that. I don't remember what happened. I don't know if you and I have had an interaction. I apologize. I
No,
don't
we never
recall
had.
it.
No, just tonight.
Oh,
Just
okay.
me asking about the situation.
No, it's like why would people know? And like that's the thing is that when WordsHavePower made a video, I assumed that they had been used by Quinn, and I can understand that. But when they were informed of the truth, for them to double down because of their ego. So if you're like ignorant and you don't know what's going on, that's fine. And if you even have opinions that are half cocked because you don't know what's going on, I also have no issue with that. It's people who double down once they've been informed as to what's going on. That's dangerous. So don't worry at all that you didn't know what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, no. From what I've heard, I do not like the sound of it. I didn't like Quinn Pratt based on some transphobic stuff I heard about him. And I don't like him now.
Astrid,
Can I tell you? Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just you responded in the chat to what I was saying, but I guess I can reiterate that, like, thank you for holding this live, Echo. Like, I really appreciate you. Character limits, but I do want to say, like, all of this really needs to be focused on WordsHavePower and their partner, because it's not the first time that they have taped for an abusive person, and denigrated people for reasons like that. So I do really appreciate that, Echo, and I appreciate you for that.
Can I keep a buck with y'all too? From what I'm gathering, since this is a larger creator, it seems like they were trying to clout chase, and obviously they're already problematic people, so it made their case a lot worse with everything else that they already had going on. There is no way that anyone should be trying to back up someone that did this to there is no way that anyone should be trying to back
What
up
the
doing too much.
What was that?
So I ran a live the other week, and like 2 weeks ago, And someone from a fucking Discord server sent a guy in to blindly get dragged and said I was talking about him. So I put him up in the background, and I made a fucking background saying it's Locktober, get your man. And he was the background just to fuck with them. So Avery and them literally are like, Echo has this quink for chastity or whatever, because I make jokes about it for men needing to either get a vasectomy or be locked up. Like,
where's the correlation?
No. So they're like, they've been getting muted in chat because of it. So it's just fucking comical at this point.
So what did I just hear and what did I just see? I didn't see the username.
They're putting in chat, and they came up talking about like wearing a diaper in a chastity cage.
I mean, as opposed to, or as it relates to blindly getting dragged, I mean, I should know all about that, but hey.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I make blind jokes. It's my
I'll
thing.
say every time I laugh, I'm closer to hell. And that's why I stayed on mute the whole time. Because
no, it is okay. I give people permission to laugh.
Hilarious.
Swan, I gotta say, I didn't see it coming.
I never do.
Yeah, all I
spit
have
my
to
monster
say-
out.
All I have to say is, if you don't have your handbasket woven to go to hell in a handbasket, holding your laughs.
Oh no, I'm fine going to hell.
I mean, at this point, I'm going down Lil Nas X style. I'm prepared. I got.
I mean, just don't go down there blindly.
I'll take on a Prada bag, okay, y'all?
I got a strip routine ready and everything.
If you're going to hell, just don't go down there blindly. You want to make sure you see everything in front of you.
If you're gonna go down there too, also make sure you have some LOOB.
Some what?
LOOB.
Oh.
Yeah, 'cause,
well,
I mean, you're gonna
there'll
be
be
getting,
enough baby oil down there to last a
you're gonna
lifetime.
you're gonna be getting
Chaos
fucked,
Fairy
so you want to
just-
make sure that you're at least safe.
All right, y'all, but echo. So, as you can see, I started going live.
I see that.
You might need the toilet sound effect to flush people off of your panel.
I don't usually do that. Like, I don't usually try to kick people or anything.
I have the ultimate sound effect for when people act up, and it goes a little something like this.
Wait.
Is that you doing that?
That is me.
That's impressive. Guys, I'm seeing in the comments the Avery receipts count is saying Avery is taking down my vids. Can everyone do me a favor? Can everyone just very quickly go to that page, just very quickly, and just go through each video and just like them very quickly? Just go like them and just say boost or hi or heart or whatever, because I assume if they're taking it down, it's because hardly anyone looks at those vids. So can everyone just please go do that for that account, because that's crazy that I don't know how they're taking it down, but I'm assuming some have been taken down.
Also, for what it's worth, Irish, that womp womp thing, I do that manually, and there's a tutorial on my channel about how I do it.
That's honestly insane.
I had a. I'm so sorry. I had a blind joke when you did that.
Swan, can you tell me?
No, I said
Swan,
being, I'm just gonna say it, being blind truly does make your other senses and better, because that was fire.
Hey Swan, can you tell me exactly how to get there?
How to? Oh, you prick!
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm half blind. It's okay. I can make some of these jokes.
No, but still.
Swan.
I'm legit half blind. Like in my right
No,
eye.
I mean, this becomes a
blind.
case of the blind leading the blind, and that's not a good thing. You should know better.
No. You got to get it right. It's in the land of the blind. The one with one eye can see. Oh, sorry. The one with one eye is king. I got one eye. How many eyes you got?
I have 2.
Oh, damn it. Never mind.
I mean, when you consider what caused the visual impairment, I mean, it's a whole thing.
It's not keratoconus by chance, is it?
Hydrocephalus, actually.
Oh, okay. Well then.
I will say, Swan, I don't know if you're like a fan of the Mario games, but I definitely think that the womp womp sound should be replaced by the intro to Super Mario Sunshine when they are like in court, and you should play the objection, like Princess Peach objection, and then the overruled by the
The judge, yeah.
Yes, I think that should be it. I don't know why, but that just cracks me up. And then the do 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 do, like after he like Mario is fucking locked up.
I've played Super Mario Sunshine.
Base game. I'm sorry, I love that game so much. It's so good.
It is awesome. I'm sorry, we got off topic.
You're good. Quinn did post a video.
Oh, so that person was telling the truth?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh boy, here we go.
Alright. So, he didn't block me. Let me crank it up a little.
All this drama, all this bullshit where people are showing each other's records, people are saying things about all the people are getting re-triggered and re-traumatized, and they're thinking about something that they maybe blocked out, or rethinking about something that happened to them when they are SA'd or DV'd or whatever. I've seen that it's triggered a lot of different people, and it's hurting a lot of different people. I put my nose into something that I had no right, no business, no reason to stick my nose in. And because of that, it started this whole big messy thing. And because of that, people who are just simply watching and not doing anything to anyone, they're getting re-triggered and they're getting hurt. I am so sorry. I had zero right sharing Kendra's stuff all over the internet, her past, her trauma, her shit. I had no right to do that, especially since one of those things she was not ready to talk about yet. And because of my actions, that's why all of this shit got drug out and why all these people are now getting re-triggered and hurt. I am very, very sorry. And I promise I will never do such things again.
He'll never do what again? SA or be a hypocrite?
The voice is pissing me off.
It's the he'll never talk about other.
The voice is pissing me off.
It's the he'll never talk about other people's stuff and put their story out there.
Where's his ukulele? I don't see ukulele.
I just want to be abundantly clear, because if you're in here, Quinn, not enough. When you say you shouldn't have posted that information, that's not what I told you to apologize for. I told you last night and I told you tonight. You say, I am sorry, Kendra, for spreading misinformation and lies about you. That's number one. Number two, I'm sorry about invalidating you as a victim. Number three, I'm sorry for hurting and by perpetuating great myths that people who step forward should not be believed. I'm sorry for all people who are victimized because I harmed you. Those are the three things I want, Quinn. I'll say it again. I'm sorry for spreading lies about Kendra. I'm sorry for invalidating her as a victim. And I'm sorry for the harm done to the SA community by doing so. That's it. Those three things. And this ends. Because again, you know, I heard your video, Quinn. I know you know, I know. Really think about how much worse this could go.
He was literally talking in a soft, sarcastic voice. If you did not hear the sarcasm dripping from that man's mouth and the like attempt to not smile or laugh, then you truly need some training.
For what it's worth, I'm on the spectrum. I wouldn't have picked up on any sarcasm.
I didn't think it's sarcasm. I just think it's disingenuous, and it's not. And it's him not saying what he did wrong. It's just, hey, I'm sorry about. It's very general.
Yeah.
Like very general. Like looking at that, you would think maybe he like accidentally stepped on a mouse or some shit. You know.
No, Swan. Fair enough on that part. It's probably just my fucking hypervigilance to narcissists at this point.
Fair enough. I mean, you got the blind thing obscuring the visual shit, and then autism messing with the auditory shit and how you process that.
But you can smell bullshit, right? Did you smell the bullshit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
At least that sense is still working.
I like, you know, if he is still listening, or it gets back to him, like, I would entertain a live with him and just Irish, and like, let him genuinely try it an apology, and to understand like the shit he's done and how bad it is. You know.
Give him a little bit of rope. Will he save himself? Will he the other thing?
Look, I would see the other thing.
Known for.
I've asked for that a number of times, and like that would be amazing. Do I think it's possible? No. And so if I got that video of him making those apologies, I'd be satisfied with that. But I do think that's what's required because he's a narcissist. He's never going to care about what we're talking about. But what we can do is educate him how doing what we say in terms of SA victims ultimately will help him because it will avoid him looking bad in the future. So if I can make it even self-interested as a way to make him be a good person, I'll fucking take it.
Here's what bothers me
It doesn't
about
help anybody though. To me, like it's not genuine, so it doesn't help anybody. There's like I don't know. That's never made sense to me.
what bothers me about the video is
Miss Sandry's here. Hi, Miss Sandry.
What really bothers me about that video is the comments. The comments are I can't stand that there are so many people. I get he's got followers. I get that. But them praising him for standing up and coming out and apologizing, that's so big of you, were the same ones that were back 4 or 5 days ago also condemning Kendra and also coming at Kendra. But now it's all, it's so big of you to do this because this has gone so far. This is gone. I would recommend, Quinn, if you're listening to this, you make another apology and turn off your comments because all you're doing is big upping yourself by letting all these comments in saying how great of a person you are for apologizing.
It's stroking his ego again.
Yeah.
It's probably not the only thing he's stroking, but hey. Sorry.
I feel like making him apologize is more harm than good.
I mean, yeah, Dom, I hear you. I'm more so like, I'm talking to Kendra, and like I think it would mean something to her. That's why I'm asking for it.
Yeah, I guess it is
but
up
I do
to
hear
her.
you.
Yeah, I would say at the end of the day, I guess it is up to her whether, if that helps her or not.
Oh, wait, your name is Dom. I thought that said Doom.
I like
They're
that
synonymous
too.
when it comes to her.
Yep.
I like that too. Shut up, Ernesto.
I personally don't think. I mean, I never met the guy. I've known nothing about him until very recently. So it is what it is. I don't think somebody like this could ever be forgiven. But that to me personally.
He can't. But something I talked about in the past few days, I've learned from my season 13 on this app when I first encountered true narcissists, because people throw that word around. But in all my time calling people out, like I felt like Avery and Zombie were like some of the first real narcissists I've ever encountered. You can't win with a narcissist. You can't. They don't have shame. They don't understand accountability. That's why they're narcissists, right? So you can attack them all you want. It's why I don't waste my time on them. You can attack them all you want. They will never be scared away. They'll never run off the app. And so what's the point in doing it? I don't really see what the point is, MLS. And that's why Apricot's statement in the comments, it sticks with me a lot. When you say that by talking to these people, you're never going to teach them to be better. You're just going to teach them how to better mask it. And the thing is, I don't think that's a bad thing. And here's why. If we can't chase narcissists away, and I do think social media is designed to reward narcissists. I think that in order to be a large creator, you almost have to be a narcissist. And so if we recognize that narcissists are going to be the big influencers, wouldn't we prefer them to mask than be openly disgusting?
No.
Because we're still all going to see through it.
No, because the narcissists that you deal with tend to be narcissistic abusers, and that's completely different than a regular narcissist. So teaching a narcissistic abuser to mask better is extremely harmful to victims like myself.
That's a good distinction.
Because when somebody like myself who was abused by a narcissistic abuser, when they learn from their mistakes. That's the thing. They learn how to get better at it and get more victims. So when it comes to an abuser, it's completely different. And almost every narcissist that you've dealt with in this capacity has been an abuser. So it's different.
That's very interesting. Well, then I need insights in terms of then what does winning look like when it comes to a narcissistic abuser? How do you win with a narcissistic abuser? I'm not sure you can.
The only way is to completely ignore them.
I just divorced my ex-wife and moved on.
Yeah, I would say it's literally the only way is to completely.
So then I should stop doing lives on Quinn Pratt. That's my question, right?
Yeah. Honestly. It's to quote that one old movie, War Games. The best way to win is to not play.
Yeah.
Like that's the actual psychology of dealing with them. It's really the only way to actually genuinely win. But at the same time, that being said, because there is a victim, winning is also, she would be more important in that. So that's the only reason I kind of shut up, is because at the end of the day, what she feels will heal her better is also important. But at the same time, the only surefire way to deal with a narcissistic abuser is complete cutoff.
So hear me out. What you're talking about is how to deal with a narcissistic abuser in your personal life. I think there's a different question and a different approach. How do you deal with narcissistic abusive social media influencers? Because when you say ignore them and don't talk to them, that's also going to allow them to thrive. And so don't conflate how to deal with narcissists when they're directly abusing you versus how do you stop? I guess the better question is, are we all saying we can't stop a narcissistic abuser from taking over TikTok? Because that's scary to me.
The only other thing that you could possibly do and that would actually hurt them is completely obliterate their facade. Completely obliterate, which is extremely hard. I mean, unless obviously you have the full proof, but at the same time, because the narcissist abuser is the way they are and they tend to have that charisma, they tend to have those reflective properties that make people go to them, somebody will always believe them. But narcissistic abusers do have shame. They have such an ingrained sense of shame for themselves that's why they abuse. That's part of the reason that they abuse, and that's part of the reason that they pick the victims that they pick. They tend to pick excellent people who they can knock down. And then when they get bored with that, because after they've destroyed them, they move on to the next. So the only thing to come back to them would be to completely obliterate anything that was part of their facade. It's the only way. And a lot of times it's hard to do that because people don't have the proof in order to be able to do that. So it would depend on whether you were able to completely obliterate. But an apology, absolutely, that in their head they just got away with it.
Or they will also victimize themselves, just like they did. Not to say that what they're saying isn't true, but as soon as that live ended, the next thing they did was say, well, this is why. And then people they swarmed and they started to, comfort him.
So essentially, Irish, it's destroy their shit or ignore them.
Yeah,
those are the things that work. Yeah, there's the whole thing of destroy your enemy completely. That's what you have to do. You have to destroy your enemy completely. Not just take away what they have, but you want to burn it all down, salt the earth, dig a ditch, put all of that inside the ditch, fill it up, put concrete over it, and then burn that. Scorch the earth, salt it, concrete it, and scorch it again.
You will go together?
That's all that'll work.
Got it.
Or ignore them.
I don't have ignoring people in my fucking DNA. All right, I'm gonna drop because my phone is at now like 7%. I'm gonna go charge, and then Avery, if you're still in here, in 24 minutes, I'm gonna go live on my O6 account, and let's have an Avery live because Avery doesn't know how to back down. And you continue to do it on Maki and Words Have Power, please, because they're asshats as well. But Avery, I didn't like the fact that Avery seems to be trying to take down videos to hide the truth again, while also in here trying to actively spread lies. That rubs me the wrong way. So I'm going to drop. I'll be live at midnight Eastern tonight, and we're going to have Avery Part 2. Everyone stay here until then, please do. Bye.
Irish.
Yep.
Did you see the icon that I posted in the chat?
No, I'll go check it out though.
Okay.
W Irish Shamrock, Irish Shamrock.
All right, so I assume Irish is going to go live.
In about 24 minutes, he said.
Okay. That'll be perfect because I will wrap up and call it a night then. So, yeah.
Echo.
Irish tonight.
Yeah. No, both nights actually. Irish was on fire.
Yeah.
I was at master class. I'm like, I didn't think the whole thing with the words was going to go down, and then I didn't think it go down the way it did. And once they were like, "Oh, but they were a kid," I'm like, "Oh, that's a wrap. That's a wrap."
Yeah.
Get a room, boom.
I think one of the big things is like the conversation between B-Tron and Irish needed to happen where they weren't being muted.
Yeah.
Well, that was one thing that I did want to point out. I came up here initially to say at the point where B-Tron was not staying mute. I think we all when we host live, we all forget there is the showcase feature, the Showtime feature.
Yeah,
I think the Showtime feature is really, really, really useful when you want just either yourself or somebody else on the panel to go uninterrupted, and then you can just end it. I've been trying to get Mac to get used to doing that, and she completely forgets every single time.
Yeah, I just prefer like adults to show some sort of regulation to be able to have a conversation as adults. That's why I gave them the warning, like, no, we're not going to do that. I want to give them both the opportunity to self-regulate, and then if they can't, I will moderate the conversation.
Right, and that's when it got to that point. When it got to that point where B-Tron would just refuse to stay on mute.
Yeah,
that's when it would be a helpful tool, because that means you wouldn't have to continue to mute. They would just be mute, and then Irish could speak uninterrupted.
I feel like when you're mute.
Quiet Doom.
That was funny. You were telling B trying to stay muted, and you were just like, "No," and I'm like, "Bruh, just like stay muted. It's okay."
I feel bad. Like, it's the wrong words to use, but I can't think of other words, but I feel bad that like B-Tron's in the middle of this because he's trying to stand by these people. Sometimes you got to realize that maybe you should take a step back and not defend someone. They should stand on their own with what they say. B-Tron, I think, has done good for some people on this app by offering that legal counsel. But again, stop positioning yourself as the point of authority on stuff. Just because you are comfortable disclosing you're a lawyer and where you're at. So that's doing too much.
I think they were thinking more along the lines of helping a friend, which I think is also a big flaw that a good amount of people have on here. Actually, when you see, I think it is a monumental flaw that a lot of us here have. It's a monumental flaw that a lot of us here have.
Oh my God. Ernesto, you're hate criming my ears.
Um, um, and some people, and I get you could make friends with people, right? I'm not saying
Yeah.
that you can't, but like when your friends are doing wrong, whether it's a big thing, a small thing, whatever, that's when you should reach out to them and go, "Hey, you're fucking up," or whatever, pull the ear or something like that. Sure, but don't stand by your friend when all the facts are against them.
Right.
And at the same time, don't leave your friends when things are against them, because that's not what you're supposed to do. If you're going to do that, then I don't want to be around you as a person, because we all mess up in one form or another. Every single one of us has. Will. I mean, I told somebody earlier this week I'm probably going to say some cringy shit, and I definitely did. I definitely did. And in private, I can be cringy as hell. Cringy as hell. I have no regrets about it. It happens to all of us that we're cringy or automatic or we're some kind of big issue. It happens to anybody. Anybody who says otherwise is lying to you.
Yeah, we're not perfect.
Yeah, and when you're so loyal to your friends that you don't see their faults, even when they're right there for 100+ people to see, you're fucking up somewhere. Just go, hey, maybe I'm wrong here, and maybe I just take this L and it's okay.
Well, that's why I do have no problem, and I advocate for it's all men until it's no men. And I speak to myself, and I always say, and I include myself, because I know I am going to do something that's going to trigger or traumatize a woman. I know that. It may not be intentional. It may just be my existence. It may be that I'm walking down the aisle and I'm wearing the same kind of shirt that her abuser was wearing. I know that. So for anyone to just say, I'm a good person and I will never do it, you can't say that. That is just not a possibility. It's not. So I have no problem when somebody says it's all men until it's no men. I co-sign that.
Yeah.
I think the only other solution for these people is either they realize that people mess up and they need to be more forgiving, or let them go down their ideology. Wait until there's none of them left. And then they'll be wondering, hey, what happened? You're what happened. You want perfection. Anybody that wants perfection is not going to find it anywhere on this planet. Nothing's going to be perfect. Nothing's going to be perfect. Your best friend's not going to be perfect. Your partner's not going to be perfect. You're not going to be. You think they should be yelling and screaming at you for weeks, months, years at a time over some fuck up? Over some fuck up? Come on. Live in the real world. Live in the real world.
Right.
And if you can't live in the real world, take your phone, throw it in the ocean. Get a life. Live in the real world.
Yeah, that's why I've very much taken a break for the past week and haven't hosted a live. I've paneled a little bit. I'm totally got a fucking center here. But I've kind of stepped out, lived in the real world, done some stuff off the app, and go touch grass, get some fresh air. I think people need to do that more.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I'm actually going to jump down because I can only have enough time on the same panel as Dom before I start breaking out in hives. So,
admit it. You just love Dom. Just admit you love Dom. It's okay.
Well, Dom and I we're mortal enemies. So,
mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look at Dom's full name,
and I'm gonna put it to Doom #DM Ernesto now.
I'm gonna change my name to KTDM Dom, and then Dom's gonna be Dom DM Ernesto.
I'm not changing my name because my fucking branding is just known.
Understandable.
Teeny, you don't co-sign Teeny.
That's my wallet.
We're neighbors.
W Dom.
In Atrix.